Morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching or listening to me from. My name is AyoT, and you're watching the Naija FC podcast on Eagles Tracker, the home of Nigerian football. This is a podcast where we bring you our raw, our honest, unfiltered opinions on all the hottest and latest topics in the world of Nigerian football. Always fun, always educational, always informative, sometimes controversial. But I do not do this by myself. I also have with me once again my fantastic co-host, Smith Layi. Smith Layi, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here again. Wonderful Monday evening. I'm happy to be here again to talk
Yes,
sport with you. You
yes.
are in a different location, so
I'm
tell
in a
people where
different
you are.
location. Yes, I'm in a
Yeah.
different location. I'm on the move. I traveled, so I had to travel with all my gear. Whenever I travel, these are the weeks that I'm always tempted to not have the show. But
Yeah.
I was like, no, this week was a little bit. This past week was quite exciting. So I said we need to come on this show because there are things to talk about. There are things
Yeah.
to talk about. So I made sure to be here. But yes, let's really quickly recap on the weekend. One beautiful thing happened this weekend. I don't know if you guys can guess what I'm talking about, but Paris Saint-Germain won the UEFA Champions League for the second time in a row. They defeated Arsenal in the final, and for me, that was good enough for my weekend. I don't know about you, but once I saw Paris Saint-Germain, Marquinhos lift that trophy, my weekend was made. I was satisfied. Any other thing that wanted to happen on Sunday, that was up to God. But yes, Milai, how do you feel about the Champions League final?
Good. Very, very impressed again. I think Paris Saint-Germain, saved the world. There's no noise pollution. After the game, though it was close. But for me, I think it was victory for football.
Yes.
Nobody can deny that Arsenal has been very negative, throughout the season. It got to a stage during extra time they were kicking the ball open, and that
Hmm.
somebody will just get on the end of it and score. So I'm happy that the Paris Saint match was won. So it's not as if there's any personal malice against Arsenal, but football should be the winner. When it comes to this situation, I think that there's maybe you heard about this anti-Arsenal law that might probably be coming
The
to
FIFA is
goes
bringing
to
it to
the
the World Cup.
goes to the World Cup, because the way they think Arsenal cheated their way
Hmm.
to win the MPL, not the MFL, sorry, the EFL.
MPFL.
So to win the EPL. So for me, happy for PSG, and I'm happy for Luis Enrique. I'm really really happy for him.
Yeah. I'm different from you. There's a personal vendetta against Arsenal. There is. I'm very, very proudly anti-Arsenal. I do not like that club for anything in this world. They've barely been successful in my lifetime. The little success they had, they want to do like they're the first one to win trophy. Then they somehow thought that they are going to win the Champions League, and they can't. They can't. Arsenal will never win the Champions League in the next 50 years. So they can hope if they like, they should bring Mikel Arteta. Bukayo Saka will retire and become their coach. They will still not win Champions League. Speaking of Saka, he was terrible in that final. Terrible, absolutely terrible, shambolic. Not a top player in that final at all. Eberechi missed his penalty, made me happy. That's what he gets for choosing England. But I mean, I was so happy that PSG won, man. The football won, the right team won. PSG were much better on the night. I was mad enough to admit that Arsenal were the best team in England, even though there was a lot of controversy with the referee and everything. But I still think that they were the best team in England. But they were definitely not the best team in Europe.
But they
They
play the
were
best football in
in
England.
England. No, they didn't play the best football. But you don't have to play the best football. You just have to be the best team.
Hmm.
When Chelsea won the title with Mourinho, we didn't play the best football, but you have to be the best team, and Chelsea were always the best team those years. So Arsenal were the best team. They deserved the Premier League, but the Champions League, they didn't deserve it. They did not. They did not. So I'm happy that PSG won it, even though I usually don't like back-to-back champions. I really don't like one team dominating a competition. But the fact that it was Arsenal, I had to support PSG. I really had to. And they did what was right, man. So Arsenal fans, commiserations, you go again next year, like you always go again the next season. Hopefully you guys can win the Champions League in the next 50 years. We'll see how that one goes. But until then,
But,
you can't talk to me, man. You can't talk to me. Your Premier League is once every 22 years. I'll be all right. All
but,
right.
but, but what's your opinion about the Arsenal fans, the fan base, saying that the referee
And they are so and silly losers. Arsenal fans complain about the referee was so hilarious to me because if the referee indeed wanted to favor PSG, you know how many moments he could have. The one that Bukayo Saka was trying to clear the ball and the ball hit his hand. If
Mhm.
the referee wanted to favor PSG, he would give it as a penalty. Even the penalty that eventually was a penalty and was given to PSG, if the ref wanted to favor PSG, he would send Mosquera off. Mosquera was already on a yellow and he committed
Mhm.
another foul that gave away the penalty. In my opinion, that should have been a second yellow. But the
Mhm.
ref probably did not want to spoil the game. Now, why he just said, okay, let me just give penalty and not give a yellow
Mhm.
card. And immediately after, Ateta quickly subbed him off because he knew that the next one will be a second yellow. So
Mhm.
for them to now say because the ref blew whistle when they had corner kick, that's their whole thing. Or he blew whistle when they had corner kick at
And
halftime.
penalty on Madueke
That
was
was
not
not
a
a penalty.
penalty.
That was not a penalty. Since that Madueke is smart because in real time, I thought, this might be a penalty. It looked as if Nuno Mendes just fell on top of him in real
Mhm.
time.
But
But
there's
when
VAR.
you see the last thing, there's VAR. We're in 2026. When you see the replay, it's Madueke that went to go and hook the
Mhm.
guys,
No,
hook
he
the
was
guy,
even checking his face. He was even smiling
you
when he
know,
hooked the guy. He
hook
was.
the guy and then dragged him down. And so, and the corner kick one, they were wasting time. The ref already allowed them some extra time. But this clock is running down when you're supposed to be playing with urgency. They were wasting time. They were doing slow. And that's what Arsenal do every time. Any Arsenal throwing, any Arsenal corner, they will use like 20 seconds.
Mhm.
Just so the ref was like, come on, guys, like, what are you doing? Play ball, and when you're not playing ball, half time. The one that scared me, I cannot even lie. 120 minutes, last play of the game, Arsenal got corner kick.
Yeah.
I was like, God, I beg. Because if they scored from that corner, I would have burst in tears. Like
Mhm.
I would have been crying. When they got that, I was like, this was going to be like the perfect script for Arsenal if they
Mhm.
won with the last minute corner kick in extra time.
Yeah.
But they did
But
not. And
okay.
I want to say, the criticism that I had, even though like I don't really care about Arsenal like that. But remember the criticism that I had, the DR Congo penalty shootout, that I
Mhm.
was saying why the players like Iwobi not come step up to take penalties, things like that. Is the same way. Why is Madueke not stepping up to take a penalty? Why is Zubimendi not stepping up to take a penalty? That they're allowing Gabriel take the fifth penalty, their center back take the
Mhm.
fifth penalty in the Champions League final. A bit crazy to me.
But
When
Bernardo
Madueke,
too play.
what is it?
Bernardo played the fifth man for PSG.
But
Be-
no, okay, Berardo, yes, but I'm saying the fifth one, the most important one. When Madueke was in Chelsea, he was fighting for penalty with Palmer. And when we're leading 4-0, he was fighting to collect a ball to take penalty. Why can't he fight to take the fifth one in the
Yeah.
Champions League final? Because some of these players, when the lights are bright,
Mhm.
they go and hide. And Madueke went to hide in that
Mhm.
moment. I can't even blame Eze. Eze stepped up, he missed, unfortunately. Gabriel stepped up, unfortunately, he
Miss.
missed. But you can't claim to be. Madueke has been the one that has been trying to like throw Chelsea the most. But when the lights were bright, you went to hide.
Like,
It's
he's playing Chelsea.
I was trolling. He has been trolling Chelsea now. He's been trolling Chelsea. Madueke,
Uh-huh.
silly boy.
Okay, let me ask you a question just before
Okay, go
the
on.
penalty for Nuno Mendes that Real saved.
Hmm.
Which penalty did he remind you of out of Nigerian players against Morocco?
Whose penalty was that?
The Nuno Mendes
I don't know. I'm
against
trying to think against whose
that
penalty. Bruno.
Bruno. Yes,
Yes.
Real was already going to that left. Nuno Mendes played that ball that same place again, just similar to in the Morocco game too. When Bruno, imagine what's it called, the goalkeeper knew already that he's going to play it there, and Bruno played the ball there. So for me, I just think that sometimes it's very important to always look up to when you want to play penalty.
Yeah.
The two of them to
But
look up to.
that's the thing with left footers. Left footers, most of the time, if the pressure is on everything, they'll probably just play it to that
Yes,
side because that's what is easy. But I mean, nonetheless, man, shout out to PSG. We wish Arsenal all the best in the future, and hopefully the long distant future. But let's move on. That made my weekend. I must say that made me very, very happy this weekend. Some other thing that happened this weekend. Unfortunately, our own Super Falcons goalkeeper, Chiamaka Nadozie, I don't know if you saw that, but her team fell to a defeat in the English Women's FA Cup final. They lost 4-0 against Manchester City. Man City have obviously been the best team in England this season. Khadija Bonny-Shaw and the rest of the team really doing well. I thought Brighton had a chance because they beat Man City, earlier in the league in the season. So I thought they had a chance, but it was a dominant display for Man City. The Brighton defenders couldn't cope with them, and yeah. Chiamaka Nnadozie, in her first season in England, at least she got to a cup final. Her team did pretty well in the league. I think a lot to be proud of. Undoubtedly one of the best goalkeepers in England this season. How would you rate that final and just Chiamaka's overall season with Brighton?
I think it's a final to forget AyoT. I don't want to talk about it. In fact, the game they catch me so, but you cannot take it away from a fantastic goalkeeper, AyoT. But that first goal, it wasn't a foul on her. She wasn't just strong enough, it wasn't a foul on her. And that free kick, I don't expect, I understand that football, especially ladies can actually, things can change, but it wasn't. I don't think I've seen a game that you can for like that before. I've never seen a game that I watched. Because of her, that's why I have to go and watch that game. Say, okay, put it on TV or make I watch our star girl. But if you want to make a case that she should be the African Player of the Year, that is not a good audition. That's all. Yeah.
All right. Shout out to Chiamaka Nnadozie. Fantastic goalkeeper. Hope that she can achieve more success in the future. Okay. Let's also talk about Paul Onuachu. Onuachu was crowned the winner of the Turkish Super League goal of the season. I can't play the video for you guys due to copyright laws, but it was his overhead, acrobatic finish against Fatih Karagümrük. You can check it out on our X Twitter page. We posted because we're able to post it from the Super League handle, so you can check out the goal on our X page if you haven't seen it. But yes, congratulations to Paul Onuachu. Of course, won the Turkish Cup with Trabzonspor, was the top scorer in the league with 22 goals, and now winning the goal of the season. Complete season for a striker. What do you say, Smith Layi?
Yes, complete season for him. I know that you hope we won't cut this one and go and post it, because last time people saying that you don't give him his flowers, but good season for him. Not somebody like to score all these Poshka goals, so you can't take that one away from him. So let's see exactly what next season holds for him. AyoT, this is like he's he knows the Turkish league very well. So can't put, but he just need to step up. Maybe probably for the final time in his career, and say exactly can actually what they do well in other leagues.
Like speaking of what happened that last time, that's why I say, like, in this life, you never really know, man. You can't please people. Me, that every single week I will come on this show and I was praising Onuachu every single week. Then because I said, oh, he had a bad run of form to end the season, all of a sudden people say, hey, I'm not giving him his credit for what he did. And I'm just like, guys, can't I be objective and be honest? Like, he had a great season, but his last few games were slow. And I was like, this life, unfortunately. But I'm also very aware that it's crazy to think of it, but our audience on Instagram and our audience on YouTube, there are some people that intersect both platforms, but they're largely different. A lot of people that follow us on Instagram don't consume our YouTube content. That's the honest truth. And a lot of people that consume our YouTube content are not really active on Instagram like that. So I understand that some people that leave those comments, if I tell them go and watch a full video, they don't care to watch a full video, but then they see a 60-second clip and they make up their minds and they comment and they get upset. So I understand that, so I don't get mad. I like to engage. I like to just, have the back and forth a little bit, but that was quite funny. But yes, Onuachu, goal of the season, fantastic goal, fantastic season that he had. I think a fantastic season for a striker. We look forward to seeing what he can do next year. But yes, congratulations to him, and now he needs to go and do his thing for the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving forward, we're getting to the national teams now. Let's talk about the girls, the young girls, and our 17 girls. The Flamingos. I don't know if you watched the game against Guinea. 11-0 on aggregate, 6-0 in the second leg. They defeated Guinea in the second round of the qualifiers for the Under-17 Women's World Cup, of course, and they will face Benin Republic in the third and final round. Harmony Chidi was on target with 2 goals. Queen Joseph scored. Oluwakemi Adebuyi scored. Precious Oscar was on target as well. So yes, Smilai, what do you think about the Flamingos, man? 6-0 thrashing of Guinea, 11-0 on aggregates. What's that?
Yeah, I think they did the job in the first leg. I watched the first leg in not in Conakry, it was in Abidjan, so it was a neutral venue, and with due respect to Guinea, they did not compete well with Nigeria. I saw Guinea play against the Nigerian Republic in the previous round. They did so well against Nigerian Republic, but because Nigeria were a very poor team. So in this case, I think probably they'll be tested against the Republic because
Mm.
I can see that there's this thing happening in Benin Republic football. And their female under 20 team qualified for the World Cup. So their national team, their women national team, nearly beat Falcons. You remember, it was 2-0 in 2-0
Yeah.
in Togo, not even in Benin Republic, 2-0 in Togo, and 1-1 in Abeokuta. So they are doing something right. And IoT, these things, you cannot see. There's no shortcut to success. Go and see the infrastructure they're building for girls, only for underage girls. They have their own training center. They
Mm.
have good accommodation. So they are preparing for the people that you look at where they camp our guests. So if all this is happening to them now, you won't take that one away from them. So kudos to the Flamingos for doing very well. And I wish them best of all against Benin Republic, but I don't think Guinea showed up.
No, Guinea definitely did not show up. And our girl showed up. It was 5-0 by halftime. So they even took the foot off the gas in the second half. And obviously the job is done. No need to go hurt yourself. No need to kill yourself again on the field in the second half. But it was a fantastic display. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do against a team like Benin Republic that should be tougher competition than Guinea.
Yeah.
But I'm fully expecting the girls to see it through and qualify for the under 17 Women's World Cup. I believe the tournament will be taking place in Morocco between the
Mm-hmm.
17th of October and the 7th of November this
Mm-hmm.
year. Morocco, of course, we know the
If Morocco no
controversy.
verse, if they no verse,
If Morocco knows the yes, the tournament will be taking place in Morocco later this year. So I'm really looking
mm-hmm.
forward to seeing how the girls can qualify and what they can do on the world stage. Of course, now the under 17 World Cup is an annual event. I don't know, maybe reduces a little bit the spectacle of it because it's every year now. But FIFA just wants the youth teams to stay active and for players to keep developing and so that there's always a pipeline of talent. So I understand the reasoning behind it. And plus,
Which
it's
is
under
good.
17. Yeah, it's a good thing, and it's under 17. Like at the end of the day, like it's under 17. It's not the biggest thing in the world for us to be fighting about them making it every year. So that's that. But yes, congratulations to the Flamingos and looking forward to seeing what they can do in the future. All right, all right, all right. Let us get into the Super Falcons of Nigeria. In case you missed it, for anyone that hasn't really been paying attention, or maybe you just don't follow us on social media, Justin Madugu, the head coach of the Super Falcons of Nigeria, has released his 23 woman squad, 23 women for the Senegal friendlies coming up in June. I'll quickly read the squad list. We have Chema Kanadozie of Brighton and Hove Albion. We have Comfort Terabo of Portsmouth Ladies, and we have Andelin Ingbechi of Rivers Angels. For the defenders, we have Shukra Doradipo of AS Roma, Rofia Timur of London City Lionesses, Gloria Ogbonna of FC Kiryat in Israel. We have Oluwatosin Dime of Galatasaray, Sikira Tuisa of Benot Netanya. We have Blessing Elividia of Bielsa Queens, and we have Christy Uchebe of SL Benfica in Portugal. For the midfielders, we have Captain Rashid Ajibade of Paris Saint-Germain. We have Halimatu Ayinde of BK Hacken. We have Ngozi Okobi Okegene of Ottawa Rapid in Canada. We have Tony Payne, Antoinette Payne of Everton in England. We have Jennifer Echegini of Paris Saint-Germain. And we have Kafaya Chitu of Giresun Sanayaspor in Turkey. And for the forwards, we have Asisa Doshwala of Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia, Gift Monday of Washington Spirits in the USA, Joy Omewa of Nottingham Forest FC in England, Francisca Odega of Al Ittihad Ladies in Saudi Arabia, Folashade Jamilusi of Leonin Shenyang Shembai Hefeng in China, and we have Blessing Unko of Dynamo Brest in Belarus, and Omori Babajide of AS Roma in Italy. So, like, before we get into who's not in the squad,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think about the players that have been selected for the squad?
What is Ogosi Okobi doing in this team? Because sometimes people don't just want to say the truth. That's what I hate. What's she doing here? We talk about people of tomorrow. Our year, we should think about how to make the country better. What is she doing here? You should learn to leave the stage when you're the loudest. What is the other guy doing here? For time now, he will come and be crying, say he's bribing, they are threatening the coach to include that. What is the other guy doing here? She didn't contribute anything in the last AFCON. She already passed her prime. What is Okobi doing here? Let's say the truth. Sometimes we hide under lies. And people are not talking about it. Madugu is allowed to do this nonsense list. Now, they want to. In fact, they are just trying to destroy what Randy Wardrum did. It's shameful. In fact, this list self, so this list did not pass through the technical committee. We have to be honest ourselves. Nkobi Okobi, he passed the best. Like, we have to say the truth. I know that people might be loyal to her. No, unless you have to be there. No, I understand. You can be loyal to a player, but let's say the truth. There's no business in this team. AyoT. So embarrassing. What is the criteria for inviting Ngozi Okobi? After 10 minutes, 20 minutes against Cameroon, she was building heavily already. In the first game, she played that first game. She was already tired. It's shameful. It's like the NFF is coaching Falcons, not Madugu, honestly, because this list is it's shameful.
So do you think, just like, again, look, talking about Ngozi Okobi, I completely understand your sentiment, and I will say this, based on performances, based on recent form, anything like that, she does not meet the criteria of who you would have thought to be selected. I must say that. This season, I believe she has made one appearance, I think, for Ottawa Rapid in the league. I happened to be at that game. I was personally went there just to watch the game. I was pleasantly surprised when the coach subbed her on. And she did play well in that game, I will say. But again, that's the Ottawa Rapid, is a different level entirely from going to play for the national team, I believe. And she came off the bench in that one for maybe the last 20-ish minutes of the match. She has not been in great form. She has not really played a lot of games. So it's quite interesting to see how she's getting caught up. Now, unless the coach is telling us that he just does not believe in any of the other options that are available to him, maybe he just thinks that the rest of the NWFL players are not good enough, things like that, then maybe that's the explanation. But other than that, I cannot really see what the reasoning is behind, now giving her back-to-back call-ups to the national team. We can't really see that. With Francisca Odega, it's also a tricky one because, okay, who are the alternate players? Maybe a Chioma Okafor, the coach might look at it and also think maybe he doesn't feel like the available options are good enough or are better than her. But I also look at it and say, okay, I understand. She's not playing at the highest level anymore. She's not been in incredible form. Like some people were criticizing the inclusion of an Asisat Oshoala. But I say, even Asisat Oshoala is obviously not the Oshoala of Barca, but she's been in fantastic form for Al Hilal. So I can understand a coach looking at that, the same way England is taking Ivan Toney to the World Cup. You look at a quality player and you say, okay, the person is in good form, the person is still fit, is healthy. Let's give the person the opportunity to come and represent. And legend, her status still speaks for her. So I can understand that. I disagree with people that were talking about Asisat Oshoala. I think as far as the goalkeepers, I like the goalkeeper selection. I like Comfort Arabo, trying to integrate herself into the team. Of course, Chiamaka is still number one, and Ingbechi Andelin seems to be the selection from the NWFL that they consistently go with these days. So I cannot be too mad. For the defense, to see Rafael Timura return to the squad is a welcome development. Of course, she's been out in recent times. I still wonder whether or not she's going to make the WAFCON squad because, of course, some regulars are not included in this, and maybe that's what opened up the spot for her. We still have Gloria Ogbonna, who we know that Gloria Ogbonna, she has not quite shown that she's at the level of the Super Falcons. When she played in the last time, she wasn't really performing well enough. So that one is still a question mark that we have to watch. And then going to the midfielders, the usual suspects in Halimatu, in Rashidat, in Tony Payne, happy to see her there. Jennifer Echegini, Shitu Kafayat, I think is an interesting selection. And if she does get playing time in one of the games, it's interesting to see how she can perform as well at this level. And then for the forwards, of course, Jamilusi, after her last WAFCON performances, of course, you'd expect her to keep being in the team. Babajide is in the squad. Oshuala, Monday Gift, get an opportunity to come and show something that she can offer. So that's an interesting one as well. Blessing Unko, she hasn't quite lived up to the standard, but maybe she can do well. And then Joy Omewa gets an opportunity to come and show herself in the squad. Now, I know a lot of the questions that people have been asking has been about the absences, the people that are not in the squad. The big one, of course, Ashley Plumter. Ashley Plumter is still not fully fit. Of course, we know she had a leg injury that she's been nursing for quite some time now. So Ashley Plumter could not make the squad. People are talking about Michelle Alozie. Michelle Alozie also suffered an injury. I believe the last game she played was maybe a week or two ago. She suffered an injury playing for Chicago Stars. So Michelle Alozie is literally not able to be in this squad. There's also Osinachi Ohale. Osinachi Ohale suffered a knock and she has come back and she's been on the bench, but she has not played a single game since she suffered that knock. So probably maybe her or her team asked the coach to let her rest and not have to play these friendlies. Maybe she's not 100% yet. That's kind of what I would say might be the explanation for why Osinachi Ohale is not there. But at the same time, I'm actually quite happy that Osinachi Ohale is not in the squad because Osinachi has been playing for us in that position for such a long time. Now I'm curious to see what we would look like in defense without Osinachi Ohale. Would he play Christy Uchebe alongside Blessing Dime? Blessing Dime, Tosin Blessing Dime. Would he play Christy Uchebe alongside her? Or would he play somebody else? I'm very curious to see how Madugu sets the defense up without that leadership and experience of Osinachi Ohale. And of course, we have to prepare for the future. Osinachi is at this point like 33 or 34 years old, so at some point, she wouldn't be there all the time. So that's a very curious one for me. Another person that is missing is Deborah Abiodun. Deborah Abiodun also suffered an injury, but she returned from the injury and she was on the bench in Washington Spirit's last game. However, she has not played since recovering from the injury. So for me, that could be the explanation for why the coach did not select her for this squad, because she just hasn't played since her knock. So he probably is giving her more time to rest and recover. Chinwe Nduehezu, injury, same story there, injury. Uche Nakano, injury, is the same story. I know a lot of people have been talking about why Uche Nakano was not given an opportunity. She had a knock. It's literally the same story. We had Esther Okoronkwo as well, is a big miss from the team. Esther Okoronkwo got injured earlier this month playing for AFC Toronto. She's missing about 6 weeks of action. She's been out for, I think, 2.5, almost 3 weeks now. So Esther Okoronkwo is not going to be back playing for another 3 weeks or maybe almost 4 weeks. So she literally could not be in the squad. So that's just to answer some people that I know a lot of questions have been going around social media of why certain players are not in the team. Most of them are not fit, and some of them just became fit again, but maybe have not played since their injury. And that could be why the coach has decided to rest them or to not select them for this squad. Smith Layi, do you have any thoughts on any of these players that were not selected that people expected to see in the team?
Before I go to those that are not selected, I want to ask you a question.
Okay, go on.
I want to give me an honest answer.
Yeah.
Do you think Okobi deserves to be there?
No, I don't think so.
Do you think she even deserves to be on the bench?
I wouldn't have selected her. I'll put it that way.
No. Do you think it's yes? Do you think she should be there?
No. I mean, I'm saying I wouldn't have selected her. If I did not select her in the whole squad, then she wouldn't be on the bench.
And do you think do you think that this team is going downhill based on this selection? Do you think we are progressing?
Based on this selection alone, I wouldn't say yes. I think in general, the work that has been built since 2023 has been crumbled in the last few years. Yes, that one generally, I think. But this particular selection, I think that the selection looks worse than it would have because of the players that are injured. Because if Alozie, Okoronkwo, Deborah Abiodun, all those people were fit, the team would be looking different. Even if he might still squeeze in, an Okobi, he might still squeeze in some other players. But if Alozie is there, if Okoronkwo is there, if maybe Hezuo is there, it doesn't look as jarring. Because now when you look at it, it looks a bit scary now when you look at it. but that's because we're missing a lot of key players through injury, and I feel like it wouldn't look as bad. So I'm not going to say it's going downhill based on this particular selection, but in general, like I've been saying it, they are undoing the work that has been done for years, and they are looking at the fact that okay, we won the last WAFCON, so for them, they would say, oh, what are these guys talking about? But again, it's just because other teams in Africa are not quite on par with us. We nearly didn't win the last final. We did win, so congratulations to us. Kudos to the players for fighting back. But yeah, the direction we're supposed to move in, we're not quite moving in that direction. Okay, but go on.
So you see, this list IoT is full of consultancy players. Honestly, it's because IoT, out of this midfield, will you say that there's no young midfielder in the NWFL that can actually come in for Ngozi Okobi? There's no player coming through the system that can come in for Ngozi Okobi. Ngozi Okobi is already in the her career herself, I won't also say finish, but she's not young and
she's already in legend status.
Like I said, so why can't somebody come and learn? And look at this girl again. Sikiratu Isa. What's Sikiratu Isa doing on this list? This girl, Umbeshi and really, I know Umbeshi, they have been promoting her since she was goalkeeper for Delta Coins, during the they will have forced this girl to the last World Cup. But is this guy the best goalkeeper in the NWFL? It's IoT. This is sad. I just think, in my own opinion, that instead of using this to compensate some retiring legends, why can't you just bring in young players that can actually come in and say, okay, you know what? Maybe probably players from under 20 experience before Poland, let them feel it. All these single to Kobe, when they played national under 20 team, they went to Falcon straight away. Oshola played, I think, 1 year. The next year, she played under 20 on the Women's World Cup. It's the same thing with Odega. After under 20, they went to they play for our national team, our national women's team. So, in my opinion, I just think that there's no, I don't know the motive behind this list. I just think that if you are looking for the future or looking towards the future, I think that you should do better, in my opinion, than this.
I understand. So, any thoughts on the players that were not selected?
Well, you've mentioned the reason why they were selected, so I didn't know that. I think that if you want to call this camp now, this is a June camp, be thinking that okay, you know what, the next camp will probably be when you finalize everything for the women's AFCON. So, despite that, these guys are even. If they are fit and they are on the bench, I believe that for the sake of chemistry, you try and bring them. Because with due respect, if with this team that we took to going to take to the next women's AFCON, we might probably not even get out of the group. So or qualify for the World Cup. Let me just say that qualify for the World Cup. So in my own opinion, I think that if Deborah Abiodun, you want to make sure the chemistry is there. I know that the last time around, she didn't really use Christy Uchebe. It was Deborah Abiodun and probably Alimatu Ayinde, I think, in that midfield, and one other girl again in that midfield. They didn't use Christy Uchebe much during the last AFCON. So we want to try see, you will try different options there. Things, it should be purpose-driven call-up. Is it okay? Not to compensate any player. Okay, I want to try new things. So can this get fit into my tactics? Things like that. So for me now, I'm looking at who's going to play left back if Ashipinta is not there. So, okay, can we try a new player? Okay, maybe, Rafiat, can she try? Rafiat, can she, So we have to look at different things we want to bring. It's not to compensate players. With due respect to those guys, they did their best for Nigeria, but I just think that they've passed their prime.
I think the glaring thing to me looking at this squad, it just kind of shows me that we don't have depth in our national team. Because if we're missing 2-3 of our starting 11 players, you can see that we really don't have the depth that we think we have. Because right now we're missing from the defense Ashley Plumter, Michelle Alozie, and Osnachi Ohale. Three starters.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the defenders that were caught up now, we look very, very light and
Yeah.
very thin and very ordinary at the back right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
removing those three players, it just does not look. The only you can trust Demenya and Shukrat. Let's say you trust Demenya, you trust Shukrat Radiko,
Mm-hmm.
to an extent, and
Mm-hmm.
Christy Uchebe, who is a midfielder slash defender. But
Mm-hmm.
then, how does the coach manage of them? Maybe he plays Oladipo as right back, plays Christy and Demenya in center, and plays Rofia Timura at the left. But that's still not going to really be a strong defense like we usually expect to have. So that I think that's something that is very, very telling for us. The midfield still looks okay, Ainde, Ajibade, Echegini, Anthony Payne, they make a solid midfield combination. But the attack also, looking a little bit like, okay, how is the coach planning to set it up? Is he going to play Asisa Toshuala as the number 9? Does he want to play Gift Monday? Is Francisca Odega going to be starting from the left? Are we looking at Thomas Babajide? There's still quality, but there are a lot of questions that we don't have the answers to particularly. And I think it will be very, very curious for me to see how everything's set up. But particularly that defense, missing those 3 starting 11 players, our defense is looking quite weak. And our attack, we have a number of players here that we're not exactly sure what we are going to get from them in Blessing Unko, in Joyomewa, in Gift Monday, Dega Francisca. So I think the coach would really have to show us something in these 2 matches. We talk about how the NFF talks about how everybody is scared to play us. We need to show them why they are scared to play us, because we need to go into this game against Senegal and really show something. Because again, Ashley Plumter, there's no guarantee that she's going to be fit before the WAFCON rolls along next month in July. So we don't know about that. For Alozie, I hope that her injury is nothing serious and she's going to be able to be back, but we can never be too sure. Okoronkwo is supposed to come back in attack, so we should be able to see her. But you never know. God forbid, anything can happen. Anybody can get injured at any time, and we don't quite have depth that we would hope to have. So I think it's something that the coach and his staff would need to really work on, how the team plays without some of our key players. But yeah, but yes, that's that on the Super Falcons squad. Looking forward to seeing how that one goes. Again, I'm mostly just happy that at least they gave them
Sorry,
matches.
can you take a
Yes.
head to comment, please?
1 second. I just want to say, so the games are on June 5th and June 8th, if I'm not mistaken. I believe
Mm-hmm.
it's June 5th and June 8th. So in between the Super Eagles matches against Poland and Portugal, we'll be seeing the Super Falcons in action against Senegal. Let me see. Adeotun, yeah, controversial. Adeotun said Okobi is a Maju slot as a replacement for Onome Ebi. Now you talk that one, or now you talk that one. Now you talk that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's that on the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Now let us get into the Super Eagles, man. A lot has been happening in the world of the Super Eagles. Of course, we know that they just finished playing against Zimbabwe and Jamaica in the Unity Cup. So let's quickly talk about that. A 2-0 victory over Zimbabwe in the semi-final, and then a 3-0 victory comfortably over Jamaica in the final. They lifted the Unity Cup for the 4th consecutive time. We saw players like Terra Murphy get on the score sheet. Alassane Yusuf scoring a brace, something that we don't usually see. We saw Femi Aziz shine, of course, in both games as well. Smith Layi, overall, watching the Unity Cup, do you think it was a success for the Super Eagles of Nigeria?
Yeah, I think so. Historically, you can also say that the purpose is to see, it's like a trial ground for new players, fringe players, to see exactly if they are ready for the national call up for the main team. So, in 2004, we got Martins to in Cup. We got players like Bolo Biefule, George Abe, became the mainstay in the national team for years. We got players, from Rabi Beta, and so on. So this last one too, we got players like Benjamin Fredericks, he got Ogbu, later became actually part of the national team. So in my own opinion, I think this competition also had some new stars. We were skeptical about Chibuke Nwangu, but now we know exactly what he can actually do for the national team. We were not sure of what Femi Aziz can actually do, but you can see that 2 goals, 1 assist in 2 games. At least he done ensure his national team place, for the future. Even if he flop, that 2 goals still remember is give him opportunity now. So because he don't try. So Terry Murphy, maybe probably, it's not really played like Shell. So maybe just trying to like see, okay, you know what? I can also help this guy too. So for me, I think is big success. Also, Otto Konko too, I'm surprised that the bench is off for 180 minutes. So it just tells you that, so it's probably a new sheriff in town. So you have to think that way too, that success, 3 players for me, I think stood out and they'll be getting national team call up for years to come.
Yeah, I think I would have to agree with that sentiment. I think overall it was a success. Pointless friendly tournaments, yes, but we're able to use it as best we could. We saw Arthur Okonkwo in goal both
Atto
games.
Congo. Sorry, people are believing say I'm saying Otto. Atto
So
Congo, sorry.
somebody in my comments said, okay. So Arthur Okonkwo, we saw him in goal over the 2 matches. He did quite well, comfortable, not too tested too much, but when he had to do, he did well. His distribution was something that was also quite good. I was watching how he was playing the ball out from his defense. Long balls were relatively on target. I was happy about that. You mentioned Chibuike Nwangu, who I will say also showed himself. In fact, maybe even better than Igor Obu.
Yeah.
But Nwangu also showed himself to be a solid player for us. And then, I mean, the star of the Unity Cup for us was undoubtedly Femi Aziz. The boy looked like an absolute baller, running around the field, showing some of his quality, fitting into Eric Shell's system and that Ademola Lookman role, showing what he can offer. Scored 2 goals against Zimbabwe, and then in the Jamaica game, his assist was very, very good link up play. I must say the entire team, how they moved the ball and how they linked up with one another against Jamaica was quite impressive. Alassane Yusuf ran the midfield very well. Like I know it's Alassane Yusuf and we've had our issues with him in the past, but
Mm.
he ran the midfield very, very well against Jamaica. Femi Aziz got a nice assist for Terry Murphy. Murphy was trying to play the role. I felt like in the 2 matches, Murphy was trying to do what Eric Shell was asking him to do, so that he can get in the good graces of the coach. Got 2 assists in the first match, was able to score a goal from the Femi Aziz cross, easy header for him in the second match. Overall, a good success. If not for Millwall not releasing the player, Femi Aziz would be with the squad for the Poland and Portugal games. So I think Eric Shaw must have been happy with what he saw from the players. But Smilai, important question that I want to ask you now. Amongst all the players that we saw, was there any player that impressed you amongst the NPFL contingent? We saw Igboke Oputa, they played right and left back in both matches. We saw other players like Tosin Edokun, Ayobami Jr., getting chicken change minutes, here and there. But any of the NPFL players that you were particularly impressed with?
I think Obuke actually was stood out. I think it was part of the under 20 team under coach Ali Zubeiru, and uh, there's been a lot of issues about why he left the camp. So I don't want to go into that, but I think he impressed me. As a normal Nigerian talent, good on the ball, but awareness in terms of position might still be questions that we probably need to actually we need to probably solve. But for me, I think he stood out. It's between him and Okuta. Okuta actually played the right back, but Okuta, Eric had to coach him for 90 minutes.
Mm.
He had to coach Okuta for 90 minutes, but for me, I was really impressed with Chibuke. It was in Super Eagles camp before, so this one wasn't his first time. It was in Super Eagles camp under Finidi George during the South Africa Nigeria World Cup qualifier, and the Benin Republic game. He was there, so it's not new to this system. So for me, I think he impressed me. And it showed that he's slightly more mature than Okuta in that setup. So for me, I think it's Obina Boke.
All right, all right. Fantastic one. I think I would also give credit to Igboke, even though he got the yellow in the game against Zimbabwe. But for the most part, he did quite well, moved the ball well, defended well. 1 or 2 times that I was like, oh, this guy is a little bit out of position. But it's to come with time and with practice and with playing with the team a little bit more, playing at this level more. You're right to mention that he was on the bench, for the World qualifiers against South Africa and Benin. You're right. So he didn't play in either of those 2 games, but he's been in a national team camp before. So maybe he wasn't too, excited by the situation. I was able to keep his head down and show himself. Unfortunately, I don't think that any of these NPFL players has particularly broken into the Super Eagles squad. But I think that they've done quite well. Shout out to I see my man in the comments, proudly Austin. He says Oputa was outstanding. TV doesn't do justice. So he is saying that from his own point of view, sitting in the stands, that Okuta was quite outstanding in the Unity Cup. Austin, if you would like to come on, man, eventually, I would like to hear your thoughts since you were there in person as well. When we get to bring people on, Austin, it would be nice to hear from you as well, since you were there and you saw everything, and also so that you will give us your thoughts on this topic that we're getting into very, very shortly. I know Eric Shell is your man, so Austin, you'll be in a position to give us your expert opinion on that. Okay, let's move forward. We're getting into the juicy part of the conversation. June friendlies, we have Poland and Portugal coming up. The game against Poland is what, June 3rd? Am I right? Yeah, the game against Poland is June 3rd, so in 2 days. And the game against Portugal is June 10th. The team is already in Poland. Players have resumed. Some of the more regular players are now there. Ako Adams is there. Bruno Image is there, and the rest of them. But crucially, Eric Chelle announced to the world that some players will be missing out for several reasons. Players like Alassane Yusuf are out because of visa issues. Players like Ademola Lookman are out because their club asked us to rest them. Players like Femi Aziz out because his club refused to release him. And a star player like Victor Osimhen, out because the coach said maybe he's looking to change clubs. And as the coach said that, the internet did its thing. People started talking about it. Did Eric Chelle just reveal what he should not have revealed? Did Eric Chelle just tell us that Victor Osimhen is leaving Galatasaray? Did Eric Chelle just break the transfer story of the summer? People went wild with it. Local reports, international reports, from the smallest journalist to the biggest journalist. Victor Osimhen is a star, so everybody was talking about it. And then Victor Osimhen came out to make a statement on Instagram. Let me see if I can find it and I can read it to you guys verbatim. The words of our own Victor Osimhen. He said, "I just got off the phone with Coach Eric Chelle regarding the comments about me in his recent interview. Unfortunately, his words have been taken out of context and blown out of proportion. He has great respect for Galatasaray, follows most of our games, and never intended to create any controversy. I appreciate the conversation, the opportunity to always represent my country, and I look forward to continuing to work with him. He is a great coach whom I respect a lot, and I kindly ask everyone to disregard speculations surrounding the matter. Thank you for your consistent support." First of all, when I read this statement, I said Osimhen did not write this himself. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. He's allowed to have a team of people that write. I write statements for players. I write speeches. So nothing, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. But when I read he is a great coach whom I respect a lot, Osimhen is not using whom in his speech. He's going to, if at all, he will say who I respect. He won't say whom. So that kind of told me, yes, Osimhen did not write this statement, or maybe he asked the AI to edit it for him. But I thought it was overall a good statement, but I thought it was also a statement that is playing on the intelligence of the people a little bit. You said people took the coach's words out of context and blew it out of proportion. And I do not understand what exactly we took out of context. So I have the video here that I want to play for everybody to watch, and maybe people will understand something different from what all of us dumb people in the world understood when we watched the video. Here it is.
So now we have two games, Poland and Portugal, and I have a lot of problem because some players, they don't have some visa form. Tijani, Yusuf. The most important, we will miss two players because Victor Osimhen, he had maybe to change the club, so I prefer that he stay in this house, because if you play and you are not at 100%, well, this is not good. And Lookman is very tired, and the Atletico has asked us to let him. So we will travel with 80 players, so we will see what happens after in Poland and Portugal. No, we go to make a fight, to make a war. If we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. But if we lose, they have to work on us. They have to beat us to win these two games. Poland, this is a good team. They go to the World Cup. Portugal, maybe the best team in the world. So this is a great challenge for us, and for sure, I want to go in their country, in their own country, to beat them.
Okay, okay. That is Eric Chelle. That's what he said. Speaking particularly about Victor Osimhen, if you guys just heard that, he said Osimhen maybe he's looking to change club, and if he's not 100% with us, I would rather he stays at home. I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what he said. So I ask you guys, what did people take out of context? What is the context that we are missing? What did he say that people have misinterpreted and blown out of proportion? Because as far as my own university level English, I did primary school, I did secondary school, I did university. As far as I understand, he is implying that Osimhen might be changing his club. That's what he's implying. That Osimhen might be changing his club. Now, should the coach be coming out to put transfer rumors in the air about his player? No. Eric Chelle can probably look at that in hindsight and say, oh man, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But I question the reasoning behind saying that people blew it out of proportion. Eric Chelle did not come and speak out of his yansh. He spoke based on whatever prior conversation that he has had. And whether or not that is true about Osimhen maybe changing his club, whatever conversation was had with Eric Chelle before about Osimhen's absence from the June friendlies led him to believe that Osimhen maybe will be leaving Galatasaray, and he wanted Osimhen to be able to focus on whatever is going on behind the scenes. So I think he's trying to gaslight people a little bit by saying, oh, people took him out of context and blew it out of proportion. You are a star player. When your coach comes and says something like that, people are going to write stories about it. Can you imagine if the England coach tomorrow comes and says, oh, Bukayo Saka, maybe he wants to change club? You now say that, oh, if people are writing stories about it, they are wrong for writing stories about it because Thomas Tuchel speaks German, is not an Englishman, and English is not his first language. You know, which was one of the excuses that people were making, especially my good friend that I went back and forth with a little bit on Instagram yesterday, Talks of Fanstripe, saying that, oh, people are wrong for running with the story. We know that Eric Chelle doesn't speak English as his first language, blah, blah, blah. It is wrong. It is wrong. And I challenge the reasoning behind that. What is wrong in people reporting exactly what the coach has said? You're telling me, oh, because we know he does not speak English as his first language. A lot of people, a lot of coaches don't speak English as their first language. And if they say something in press conference, people are going to quote them as they said it. Eric Chelle, is this the first time that he's doing a press conference? Do we now, everything that Eric Chelle says, do we now have to ask him, are you sure this is what you mean? Like, how do we clarify it? Okay, if we are saying the Osimhen one is because of language barrier, how do we know that the Lookman one was not a language barrier issue? How do we know that some of the other things that he has said over the course of the year, he didn't mean something different? So for me, Osimhen clarifying the situation, trying to save it. Obviously, Galatasaray fans were unhappy. You know, they were insulting the coach. Some people were criticizing Osimhen, questioning his loyalty to the club, etc. And Osimhen has a brand to protect, has a name to protect. So I do not blame him. But for people that were saying those that reported the news were wrong, those that created, that wrote stories were wrong. That's the part that I do not quite understand. You cannot play on our intelligence. The coach said something, people took him at his word for what he said. Osimhen came out and said what the coach said is not true. If you want to blame anybody for the controversy that it caused, you blame the coach. If you want to blame anybody for the controversy, you blame the coach. You can't blame the people that heard the coach say something and went to tell other people this is what the coach said. It's like if I come here and I try to speak maybe Yoruba and I fumble the Yoruba and I say the wrong thing, and then somebody now goes and says this is what AyoT of Eagle Striker said though. Will I now come and blame the person? But you know it's English that I speak normally now. that because I was trying Yoruba, you're supposed to have asked me or confirmed if that's what I really meant. No, I said what I said. So it's on the coach. The coach should not have made that mistake. He should not have been talking about Osimhen's future potentially like that. He made a mistake. But for people to now come and say, oh, people were wrong for reporting it, I think it's disingenuous. And I know that Osimhen is our star boy, and everybody likes to, when it comes to any matter that it revolves around Osimhen, everybody likes to do a touch not my anointed. You cannot, if you're talking about Osimhen, if you're not praising him, if you're not pushing Osimhen to the high heavens, you shouldn't talk about it. I think we need to stop all of that. We can praise him, but we can also talk about issues that affect the boy objectively and honestly. And I was just like, the whole story and the whole controversy was a bit hilarious to me. I hope that Osimhen stays in the good graces of Galatasaray fans, because Galatasaray has been a great club to him. But the coach said what he said, and I don't think that the coach just made it up. Something that the coach had spoken about with him or somebody before led him to believe that that's what was happening, and that's why he said it. He didn't just make it up. Smith Layi, what are your thoughts on Eric Chelle, the comments that he made, Osimhen's rebuttal, and all the controversy in the media?
For me, I think Victor Osimhen. Any news about Victor Osimhen, people will talk. It's like you say, people don't talk about Donald Trump or anything about Victor Osimhen. People will talk about it. So Victor Osimhen is not just a player; he's probably our best player. So people will report it. So and the coach is the coach of the national team. It's not AyoT talking. So if AyoT say that there's a report that Victor Osimhen is a movie club, who might not take it, but it's Eric Chelle. He's the national team manager. So see, you cannot teach people how to do their job. Who will report if you have evidence? You report what what you heard. So in my own opinion, I think people are just not right to say that people should not talk about it. Why won't people talk about it? And AyoT, Victor Osimhen owns the media. You know that. People, Victor Osimhen owns the media, so it's very popular. He owns the media. Is what should put out. Maybe probably it's only you that might be. But I think Victor Osimhen owns the media. So people are very loyal to Victor Osimhen, and he owns the streets too. So that's one thing about him. So you can see that all these things, if not because of the Turkish media, bringing up the stories and everything, if it's not known Nigeria, then Victor Osimhen will quench everything. So, and talking about the reply, I don't know. I don't see Victor Osimhen right. I know that a player like him will not be writing by himself. Maybe probably he's going to give somebody to write for him. But well spoken. I expect him to come out and say, because people have been talking about it and say Osimhen is leaving Ghana and everything. I expect him to come out and talk too. But that is a polite response compared to those I call them small nyash they check. That have come out already. The guy that was trying to fight you, say the big guy from radio station, and I forgot, it's a big guy from there. That big guy from radio station.
The obese guy,
yeah. No, don't say that. I think he's a big guy.
He's obese now. That's not an insult, it's a fact. Okay, go on.
But you can't measure his height to body ratio.
But you have my.
So in my own opinion, I just also think that he should caution those people. I know that people want to stay loyal to him. Say when boss they people go they sweep. Some people they sweep, they clean. We want to say that they are working. But I think sometimes most of them might do this damage even than praising him. So in my own opinion, I just think that people are right to report anything they want to report because it's Eric Chelle and it's about Victor Osimhen. So and talking about Victor Osimhen, see, it's now a pattern. AyoT. When last Victor Osimhen played friendly match for Nigeria?
So we spoke about this, and so the last one I was wrong. So initially I said he hadn't played since 2019. He has played one since 2019. That was Saudi Arabia in 2023. Yes, but one friendly match since 2019 is a bit crazy. Like, people want to watch you play. Like, you're our star boy, you're our biggest player. I know it's a friendly, but people want to watch you play. And I posted a video on Instagram talking about this yesterday. And I said, like, F all the rumors. Forget about all the rumors of what Eric Chelle said or what he did not say. Whether Osimhen stays in Galatasaray or leaves Galatasaray, in all honesty, I don't give a damn. What I give a damn about is the fact that Osimhen is not going to be playing these friendlies. Okay, the coach said it's because you want to change club. You came out and said, oh, it's not about changing club. So why are you not coming to play these games? I love Victor Osimhen. He's our best player. But okay, so like, what's the reasoning? Like, what's the explanation? If you are tired, tell us I'm tired. We might not like it, but at least you told us something. If you are, excuse me, if you are injured, tell us you are injured. We might not like to hear it, but at least you told us something. But don't come and tell us, oh, what the coach said is wrong, but I'm still not playing. What's the reasoning? Now we are going to play against Portugal and Poland. We're short-handed. This is a game that we've been talking about. We've been talking about is an opportunity for us to see how our team can potentially stack up against one of the best teams in the world. But now, if we lose the game, it's always going to be a case of we don't have Osimhen, we don't have Lookman. Lookman's own, at least we have an explanation of sorts. Lookman did not come out and tell us that Eric Chelle does not speak English, and that's not what his club is talking about. So it's like, what exactly is it? What exactly is it? I just want us to, like, if we say that the ownership, not the ownership, the administrators, the NFF, should be accountable to us, then I think that the players should also be accountable to us. The national team is not for anybody, it's for all of us. So even if Osimhen himself is not coming out to explain, then the coach should tell us, because what the coach told us, Osimhen said it's not true. So the coach should come and tell us when he gets to his first press conference in Poland, or when people are interviewing him, they should ask, okay, so Osimhen said it's not because of transfer. So what exactly is the reason why he's not coming to play for us? Because we care. I know people that were going to travel to Portugal, they probably wouldn't travel anymore. Thank God, thank God, hope they've not already booked their tickets or anything like that. I know people that were going to travel. Some people were talking about potentially traveling to Poland because they wanted to watch Nigeria play. But now, two of your biggest stars are missing, and one of them, there's no explanation. Again, when you now look at the fact that he has not played more than one friendly match since 2019, his naysayers, you are giving them ammunition. I've been seeing people talking about his big boyism. He's thinking he's a big man. He thinks he's bigger than the team. He picks and chooses when he plays. I'm not saying he does. I'm not saying he doesn't. But I'm saying it does not look good. Alex Iwobi is always available. Lookman is available most of the time. Even when Lookman is suspended, he's in the stadium supporting. So for me, okay, even if you're not playing, travel, go and interact with the people. Like, I just think that our best player cannot be missing all our important friendlies or all our friendlies. And I know people will say, is a friendly, it doesn't matter. But here's my thing. Friendly games are for preparation. Friendly games are for practice. Friendly games help you build chemistry with your team, help you see what the team would look like in a match situation. It cannot always just be training, and then you go and play match. And you might say, oh, Osimhen will still score his goals. But who knows? Other people might play better if they are more familiar with him, if they get to play more with him in these friendly games. It's not, again, this Michael person, try to listen to understand, not to respond. Nobody's questioning Osimhen's hunger. Nobody's questioning Osimhen's desire or his efforts. Osimhen gives efforts. We see it. We all have eyes. We see it. But we are saying he needs to be more available for games like this. Friendly matches matter too. Friendly matches matter too. Otherwise, why is anybody coming? They might as well say, okay, all the Unity Cup boys and the MPFL boys should go and play. So if there is a good reason why he's missing the games, they should tell us the good reason. That's all I'm saying. It's not a knock on Osimhen. He's still our best player. we still desperately need him. But at the end of the day, nobody be superior for a national team now. If Boniface did this, the same way I'll talk about Boniface is the way I should talk about it if it's Osimhen, or if it's Iwobi, or if it is Ndidi, or if it is even Otele, or one of the younger boys, Frederick. It's the same way. So everybody should have a good reason for turning down a call-up, because call-ups are the highest honor that you can get as a footballer playing for your country. So everybody should have a good reason if you're going to turn down a call-up. That's what I'm saying. Sprinkler, your thoughts.
So let me just say also that nobody doubts Osimhen's commitment for the national team, and I always say it. I've been watching football for quite a while now. I don't think I've seen any player more committed than Victor Osimhen to the national team. He gives everything. he will do everything for the national team. So about playing for the badge, you cannot fault Victor Osimhen. Maybe probably Gabalawa, is most committed. But I just think that Victor Osimhen is up there. So I don't doubt Osimhen, and it's just that there's a pattern. And what are we here for? Is to talk about it. It's okay. So that's my own opinion. So for me, I think I can't doubt Osimhen. We love Victor Osimhen, AyoT. You watch Turkish league. What is your business with Turkish league if Victor is playing there? So it's not as if all those people that just talking now they love Victor Osimhen more than you. So you interviewed Victor Osimhen during COVID. So I just think that there's a pattern here. That's why we're talking about it. That's it.
Yeah. And see, another interesting point that is also important is that we need to try to get positive results in these matches because we're not going to the World Cup, and our FIFA rankings will ultimately drop during the World Cup because other teams will be playing and winning and getting points, and we wouldn't be. So I don't know. I'm just a bit frustrated, and I'm maybe the overwhelming emotion is even like sadness and disappointment that our best player will not be playing these games because it's been like we were already excited, we were hyped, we were energetic for these matches. We were looking forward to seeing it. Me, I've spoken to you about it. I've spoken to Olu of Nigeria Football Weekly about it. We were actually pumped to see what Nigeria can do against Portugal. But now it's going to be a little bit in the video that I played, you heard Eric Chelle saying that he's going to be traveling with 18 players, so he doesn't even have a full complement of the squad, and his best player is not there. His second best player, also not there. At least that won't give us a reason. But like even I would honestly even say like Lookman, I ideally would have liked Lookman to be there as well. I get that you've had a long season. Okay, we'll put a minutes restriction. We'll play you 45 minutes per game, since you're tired. We wouldn't walk you to the ground, but I would still have liked for him to be there as well. If Atletico Madrid is so concerned about how tired he is, then they should allow him to resume preseason 1 week late. If they are that concerned, you give him extra holiday. Don't ask him to not play for his country.
If he's playing World Cup, would they say that he's tired?
Like he's tired. That's the thing. It's the same thing with Osimhen. If Nigeria was in World Cup, would Osimhen not be available for these friendlies?
And talking about the importance of World Cup, I think they would pair Nigeria don't need to drop less than 8 or 9 in this in the next 6 months because the World Cup qualifiers for 2030 will start. And the draws will be out very soon, and the first 8 teams. So we know that even we were seeded in the last one, we didn't qualify. So for me, I think that we need to also take care of that our draw, so that at the end of the day we don't regret it.
Austin, I've posted a link. So Austin, if you want to join us and share your thoughts, I've posted a link so you can come and share your thoughts. Okay, I just want to take this comment from Olu. Remember of channel. Olu says Osimhen is one of our best players. Basi and Lookman are top players too. He is not committed to friendlies. He has no proof of commitment to friendlies. That's what Olu is saying. And he also left one more comment here. He says, I don't think that chasing a club should stop you from friendlies. Exactly. Minutes restriction. Okay. That's what Olu is saying. I also have super chat comments here from Viral Moment. He said, the reply only calms the air, but the mix-up and lack of context still lies there. It is more like a cover-up. The only back-to-back friendly that he has played was Ukraine and Brazil in 2019, and that was only when he just joined the team. If Atletico is so concerned, they should tell Argentina to bench Molina. That's what I said. So yes, my own is that if Atletico is so concerned about tiredness, give him 1 extra week of holiday so that he can resume preseason late. Not that you will stop him from going to play for his national team. Because again, it's a national team honor, man. Like players turning down national team caps when they are fit would never sit right with me. It will never sit right with me. Like I understand fatigue and all these things. Okay, so you will give you limited minutes, but completely just turning down a cap. It just would never really sit right with me. Because it should be a privilege to even get called up for the national team. But yes, another comment here. Zizo Jide says, I blame NFF for all this rubbish. That's what Zidane is saying. Iyare Made also has a comment here. He says, "Does Osimhen rate Gala over the Eagles?"
How much is Eagle paying him?
How much is it? How much is Eagles paying? All right. Let me bring a friend of the show. Our boy in the industry, proudly Austin. Let's get
Are you a journalist?
on everything. In the media industry now.
Okay.
Austin is a content creator as well. He's not just a journalist or TV presenter. He's also a content creator. So please, everything join. Well, yes. Welcome, Austin. Thank you.
Hey,
Hey, big names. I greet you guys, AyoT, Smith Layi. Good to see you. Well done. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Mic check. Okay, awesome. Because I have my TV on. I'm watching you there. I can hear the output from there, and then I'm
make sure
this one right from my studio.
Now, don't have feedback, please. Just make sure the TV is muted.
Give me a minute. Let me just turn down the volume of that one.
Okay, thank you.
Let me turn down the volume. Nobody there.
Right. Let's just give us a minute to just mute his TV, and then we'll get him back on. Okay, let me quickly go back to the comments to see what people are saying. Let me see what people are saying. Hola 19 says, we cannot be relying on one player all the time. What if he gets injured? That's what cost us a World Cup ticket too. I agree. We cannot rely on one player, but if that player is available, the player should be there. We should, if nobody is saying he has to play 90 minutes of every match, you can say, okay, Osimhen come first game, you let Ako start, let somebody else start, and you can bring him on later. You see what it will look like without him. It's all about practice. So I understand every camp is important, for our team to be there. Yes, we should prepare for life without him, but that does not mean he should not come to camp if he's fit and available to come to camp. The United fan says, thank you for the super chat. He says, I think Osimhen has reached a point where he is not willing to risk getting injured on international games unless they are competitive matches. See, you might be onto something there. The question that we have is that a good way to look at it? You might be onto something there. Is it worth it risking injury to play friendlies for Nigeria? But should that be something that we accept that, okay, we are not, so why should Iwobi risk injury? Ola Aina got injured playing for Nigeria. He has not been able to recover since then. Remember, against South Africa, he got injured playing. He came back, he injured again. So he has not fully been able to have a run of games. So should Ola Aina also not play friendlies for Nigeria anymore? We see it all the time. Players get injured playing for their countries. So is that something that we should accept, that certain players reach a level in their career that is not worth it anymore to play national team unless it's AFCON or it's World Qualifiers? Is that how it is? Then every game we should just be calling our Unity Cup squad now. That's how we're looking at it. But yeah, we'll get you guys' thoughts on it. Let me bring back proudly Austin to join us and share his thoughts. Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm back now, but Austin, now I cannot hear you. This thing is trying to mess with me. I don't know. Hear me?
We can hear you.
We can hear you, Austin.
I need to hear you. I just hold on.
Let's Austin, maybe click the link again. Austin, try clicking the link again, coming back. Technical issues, guys. Sorry. But we'll get it figured out. I know other people are waiting, but I want to hear from Austin first of all on obviously Eric Chelle, Osimhen situation, the Poland game, and then we'll bring other people on. Let me just quickly go back to the comments. United fan says, Nigerians always complain that we can't win without Osimhen. This is a perfect example to prove otherwise. Okay. Let me see. Una Maker says, why is Ronaldo starting games with Portugal day in, day out? Please, no excuse for Osimhen at all. Every player should make himself except injuries. Me too, I agree. I think every player should make himself available, except if you're injured, you're injured. We cannot force you to play when you're injured. But if you are not injured, I think every player should make himself available and should come. Even if you're on a minute restriction, you should still come. I think so. As Olive says, like the video, guys. Please, if you are watching, if you are enjoying the show, we have over 240 people that are live with us right now. Please hit the like button on the video. Send super chat, guys. We have a goal of 30 super chats on this show. We're not even halfway with the goal yet. So please, guys, send super chats if you have questions, comments that you want us to take, support the stream, send super chats, and of course, hit the like button on the video. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much. Daniel says there were reports of Atletico complaining at the last window of Lookman playing 180 games in our last 2 friendlies. They should complain. That's their problem. Nobody is saying the club cannot complain, but that's their problem. National team. But again, like I said, I understand that if a player is fatigued and needs a rest, you don't necessarily have to play the player every minute. That one I understand. The club is the one that pays the player. So if a player needs a little bit of a rest, I understand. Playing 30 minutes, 45 minutes, it's a friendly now. I understand that. Okay, let's hope that Austin can hear us this time.
Yes, now I can hear you. Mic check 1 2.
Right. Fantastic. Austin, once again, man, thank you very much for joining us. You are a veteran in this sports media space.
Small boy like me.
You are somebody that I know. You were in London, you were there, you saw the players up close and personal, you saw the coach up close and personal. So let me just start by asking you, the Unity Cup overall, was it a success for Nigeria, and how big a success if it was?
I think it was a huge success for Nigeria, because let me tell you what our football is lacking. Our football is lacking transition. Smith Layi, you are big with football history in Nigeria. Why did we do well in the 90s? Because we did well in the 80s. Why were we having good goalkeepers? Because there was Best Ogedengbe, there was Emmanuel Okpala, then they passed it. When we lost track of that transition, our football started suffering. That's why when I shout the MPFL is beautiful, it's not because of the pitches, it's not because of the administrators, it's because of the talent. Because that structure also contributed to this transition. And that's what we are beginning to see with the Unity Cup. The Unity Cup last year made us talk about Benjamin Fredericks. But in that conversation, we mentioned he passed through ABS. We mentioned he passed through Nasarawa. Work with me, AyoT. Very, very important, because that's where we're losing it. That's why I say it's massive. That has gone now. Even those we have Sadiq, that is Sadiq Bending. He played at that Unity Cup, and he was a Remo Star player and a champion of the league. It still puts that transition in the conversation. Bring it to this Unity Cup. He called up 7. And sincerely, I don't know if you guys can just go back and feel. I feel so bad I lost my last Instagram. I've been shouting Kenneth Igboke for 4 years now. That he only just needed to be playing in a good league, and he would have been playing for Super Eagles 4 years ago. I'm telling you. But now that we have seen him, now that we have seen Oputa, even Michael Atata doesn't have height. But I saw a young Vincent in Yama with him each time they were training. I'm sure those coaches,
that's massive praise. So you just mentioned the Yama.
Yeah, because when people talk about goalkeepers, AyoT, the first thing they want to talk about is height. And I say, wait a minute, how tall was Vincent in Yama? How tall was George Campos? How tall was Chilavet? You get what I'm saying? Bates, they were great goalkeepers. Now, with what I saw of that guy, his reflexes, his command, his control, it was good. But there's no way I know they will pick him ahead of after Okonkwo and Francis Uzor. Even my boy Ovie Jerry was invited. Solid goalkeeper, a product of Arsenal Academy without Okonkwo, now plays his football FC Midtjylland. He was there. He was just invited to come train with the team, which I thought was very good for his career also. Now, I've called those names. Tosin Edokun was a very decent player. Aderemi of Ikorodu City, decent. But do they have the exposure of these foreign players? Absolutely no, AyoT and Smith Layi. But it's a reflection. It's a reminder that we have something that we have to build on. And sincerely, if this is the only reason why I'll keep supporting the Unity Cup, that every year it gives us that reawakening that we can do something to make our league look good beyond players' talent. That's why for me, I say it is massive. Two, team spirit and bonding. You guys don't understand what it means for the Super Eagles, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, to miss the World Cup back to back. Smith Layi and AyoT is like having a faulty brain damage. Some national teams will never recover. So this sort of competition helps you to keep the conversation going. Call him a flash in the pan, but oh yes, people know Femi Aziz now. Yes, and he plays for Nigeria. And if Moses Simon is tired or Samuel Chukwueze isn't doing well now, we don't get somebody who tells go fit play that role. That's a big game for us. Massive. Everybody criticizing why he no crude, he no sabi, MPFL. Has the narrative not changed today? It has changed. And that's what I'm saying, that it is massive, and another reflection that we have to do something back home to keep our football going. Igbo was so young, played in the NNL, went to Europe, came back, played in the league, and then went back to Europe. If the league is solid, if there's structure, if there's a system that a still can actually look at and trust, then we will not be struggling. We will even feel bad about what is going on with this conversation now. Smith Layi, you are also big with history. Check our strikers from 1980 to 1990 to the early 2000s. Strikers, the next generation of strikers. Who will Osimhen pass to if the last time you played friendly match for the country is 2019, and all you do now is just come and play the big competitions? The friendly matches are where you build proper team bonding, proper team spirit, camaraderie, understanding. That's where you experiment. That's where you make mistakes and learn from them. So, AyoT, to answer your question, the Unity Cup is that tiny hole in the tunnel that we can see light. Every year, look forward to it and say, even if it's to be using, my dream is one day, let us have like 8 MPFL players start the Unity Cup. We want to change all of them at halftime to just test that the league is doing well and that we are making progress as a country.
So you know the way so when I come to you know the way in America in the MLS they have the MLS All Stars team that they would often invite a Premier League club like an Arsenal has played against them. They play against Mexican teams sometimes. They use it as a way to promote their league. Is that something that you think would be interesting for Nigeria as well? Austin, I'm asking you.
Well, I thought you were asking Smith, like, absolutely. That's almost like the same system I just talked about. And you see, it has worked for them because the MLS did everything to brand, to be out there. It wasn't working. So they said, okay, let's look at this All-Stars team and see the way we can bring a league that everyone is talking about into the conversation. Remember, the Indian League was looking like it was going to catch fire one time. Can you remember? But because they lack that production circle that I'm talking about, if you cannot keep that production line going, now where Europe don't use dust everybody. Because Europe will just have a look at the first team. It is struggling, but go and look at the academies. Go and look at under 9s. Look at under 12s. You see, they are building. It's a process. And I think that's what we should really do. We are scared of branding the MPFL as a country because it is in the hands of demonic forces. Government does not know business. Government does not know branding. All government knows is propaganda. You hear that a state does not pay players, does not do nothing. Let that state just win Federation Cup. They go first buy 2 buses and then call Channels TV, AIT, and Arise and pay them for live coverage that will pass the amount that they used to buy buses. They don't build. They don't have Team B. They don't have academy. Some don't even have stadiums. So AyoT makes it very, very difficult for us to even have a look and say, what can we do with this? The MLS might not be selling out stadiums, but it's a franchise that is winning. For Messi to be playing there right now, for a big football icon as David Beckham to invest in it. It tells you that there are potentials. We might not see now. They might do a 10-year projection and then it starts catching fire when you and I will take our face out of it. But they are working. And that's what we need to do. Was the MPFL not good? Smith Layi, I come back to you again. You are big with our football history. 1980, where we they win, they beat everybody for Africa before we won the AFCON. How many?
Okay, Smith Layi, you wanted to respond before, so go ahead.
I have to respond to so many things, but let me just start with but see, you mentioned about transition, and I understand it from your own part about transition, but Austin, these players played in the Unity Cup now. They are now exposed. What is the next step for them? And I'm going to continue. Those that played in last year's Unity Cup, I'll put their name out now. So I'm coming. Those that play last year's Unity Cup, they are Ifeanyi Onyebuchi. He was playing for Rangers then. Unduka Jr., who was the captain of Remo, is now in Iraq. Ismaila Sodiq, last time I saw him, he was hitting rice on the crowd. I don't know where he's playing for them, but he was watching Remo with his girlfriend. I'm coming. I'm just going to. So, Collins Ugueze, I don't even know how he got the call up. I don't even know how he got the call up. Adamu Abaka of Plateau United. Sikidu Ademi, where is he now? So, we're talking about these players. I understand how important is it to include them. But what is the next step? These guys, they cannot measure up at the end of the day. Because now, the only player here that we can argue for is Papa Mustafa Daniel. It's even hard for us to even argue for him that he should be in the Super Eagles. So the issue is that this set of players that play in this Unity Cup again, around next year, when we also assemble for this Unity Cup again, it's going to be the same different set of players that the agents will now sell to Europe or secure league in Europe. There'll be no pathway again. I'm not saying that these players should not be given opportunity. The transition I'm talking about, I would rather use our underage players. That I know that, okay, these people can still have future. With due respect to him, Ibami Junior. Yes, he played in 2015-2016 season in the MPFL. Do you know that? That is 10 years ago.
So he's like,
maybe he was 16 then. I don't know. So, you see, I'm just saying that he's been around for 10 years in the MPFL. It was registered. So the issue is this. It's not as if I have anything against them. It's just that I will rather, though I know Oputa is 20 years old, I like him that he can develop. It can be our under 23 right back. Iboke was born in 2006. I mean 2005, 2006. Though I will not say much about that. He can still play for our under 23. So I like those ideas about, okay, you know what? Expose them, let them go back to the age grade and develop more. But in my own opinion, I think majority of these older guys getting invited to the national team, I think just for the agents to sell them to one obscure league and at the end of the day. You cannot bet that Secret Academy will get another invitation again for Nigeria. You cannot bet because it's so far away from getting back to the national team. So, in my own opinion, I would rather see transition from our age grade to Super Eagles using this Unity Cup than for the MPFA boys. I'm sorry about that.
You have a point. I also talk about it that the big problem with talent in the MPFL is that they are old. And it is because of how the MPFL is structured, win at all costs, because it's being controlled by state governments. So that's why they're not building. When state government, you see a state government that has done nothing, just waiting for them to win because people are using match days to move money around. So I totally agree with you. But we'll go to the academies. to go and invite a player to come and play in MPFL when the states, Rangers have a state FA chairman in the NFF that can have a case to the NFF to wonder why they are going to pick somebody from my people academy when league champions, Rangers, they are there and these players need to feed. It tells you that we're in a big problem with our football, not just football, sports in general, because we see them like play. It's leisure now. Maybe they are kicking ball. They are bouncing basketball now. They're not taking it serious. We're not treating it as business until we take it out of the hands of state governments. And it's looking like it's difficult because they've got it on a tight neck choke. That's where the problem is, Smith Layi. But we got to break it. If a team like Cremo Stars, Smith Layi, I still go back to that transition, AyoT. If a team like Cremo Stars that won the league, that's got a bit of small structure, that has got academy, why are they not investing in those young academy players to jump up to play at Cremo Stars? They won't. Smith Layi, they won't be able to play with those old men. They cannot. So it's going to be difficult unless we scatter everything and start afresh. Take our minds away from winning and say we want to build. That's what Gambia is doing. That's what Mali is doing. That's what South Africa did. Even small Ghana, they are doing it now. So like you see that program Ghana did for all the foreign-born Ghanaian players, young guys in the UK to come together. They know what they are doing. They're having a peep into their future. But unfortunately, we have men who I just don't know their dreams is just to destroy football in Nigeria. So the prayer from Damia you will do, because Sikru Alimi and Ismail Sadiq cannot play 2 Unity Cup games and to transform their careers when all their lives have been struggling with a bad system. But I'm just saying that if it gives us an opportunity to talk about them and they go to Iraq, Smith Layi, they are breadwinners. This is the football that they use to feed their family. So they will go to Kosovo, they will go to Bangladesh to play football where they will pay them better than they do at Aqua United and Remo Stars. You cannot blame them, bro.
One thing that I've said in the past that some people say, "Oh, is insulting or funny." I've said it before that I don't think Nigerian football progresses until it stops being a poverty alleviation scheme. And while I recognize the fact that me saying that might be me speaking with some sort of privilege that I'm not needing to alleviate myself from poverty, I understand that. But at the same time, if we continue to look at our football as a way for people to simply just get enough to be able to feed their families wherever they end up, wherever they do this thing, then we'll keep on having the same pattern and the same cycle and everything. But also, just because of time, I want us to move a little bit on, and I want to ask you about this.
Can I just answer? Make another comment again.
Quickly.
You mentioned the transition that is used to be before in the past. Austin, that we used to have a lot of home-based players in the 1980s. Austin, that the league then is different from what we have now. The Nigeria of 1970 and Nigeria of 1980 is different from Nigeria that we have now. It's a choice for you to travel abroad. Then you can travel and come back. But if you japa now, you japa fully. So we know exactly that. So
I'm not japa fully. I'm still going back to my country.
No, I'm just saying that sometimes I'm just trying to say it's different.
Yeah.
See, and if you look at it, then Cameroon played with an amateur player in the 1990 World Cup. They dare not try it now again. The gap between amateur football then and pro is not that much.
That's right.
So it's different. So football is evolving. Like I say, someone say with like it's like Okonko. We just did not evolve, with the way football is evolving. Other countries as well evolving. We just did not evolve. That is just the only thing. So the league was good. I'll say sorry to say this. Sorry, the final point. The best reference I would have liked to make was when we had Rangers, Dolphin, Julius Baja, Enyimba. No. Even this is 20 years ago. We had Julius 20-something years ago. We had Julius Baja playing the final of the Cup Winners' Cup against Eto Dusaye. We had Enyimba play in the final of the CAF Champions League. We had Rangers play in the semi-final of the CAF Cup. 3 Nigerian clubs are in the later stages. So at that time, it's easy for us to pick players because they're competing very well. But nowadays, for me, I think it's just slightly not like before again. So even 80 is done far, but about 20 or 23 years ago, we still actually were there, but I still think we're there now. I understand, Austin, you are trying to promote the league very well, but I just think that even with talent, we still have a long way to go.
Okay. Let's just put a pin in that for now, because I want to get this stuff from Austin before I bring other people on as well. So Austin, I was talking about the Eric Chelle Osimhen situation. Eric Chelle spoke in his press conference, and I thought I heard him pretty clearly say that Osimhen may, he did not say is, he said may want to change club, and if he's not 100%, then he stays at home. Victor Osimhen eventually came to say the coach's words were taken out of context. People created more than a story out of nothing, pretty much. And there have been some people saying that, oh, why did the media report this story? Oh, we're causing problems for Osimhen, blah blah blah. I don't know if you particularly reported the story, but do you think people in fact created something out of nothing? Because for me, I feel like the coach said what he said, and people reported what the coach said. How do you feel about everything that transpired from the words of Eric Chelle to Osimhen's response?
I was at a press conference, and he made that statement before my question. I don't know if I asked the last question. I told him to give us an update on the players that were even invited for Unity Cup that didn't come. First, we need to know why they didn't honor that invitation. I remember one day I was at Smith Layi's live with you, AyoT, and I think 2 other persons. And I said, Eric Chelle will struggle because of his English language. I remember clearly, I said language will be a problem. It was just shoot of language, semantics, the level at which meaning is derived. So it was just talking randomly and talking about, the friendly game against Poland and Portugal, and Victor Osimhen will not be available. Maybe he needs to, sort out his contract and sort his transfer. He said it. Well, Galatasaray said they do not know that Osimhen is looking forward to leaving, or that the agent is not looking for a better club for Osimhen. Was this not in the conversation last year? But the only problem was how Eric Chelle communicated it. And for the media to jump on it, we report what is out there. So people jumping on and trying to make it look like, the coach did not say it. The coach said it. He said what he said. What he said was reported. How he said it was a problem. And that's because this guy, his major language is French. I've been chasing a second special interview with Eric Chelle, and he told me clearly that his English language will make people misconstrue some of the things he will say. And it's true. He's even trying now, but you'll find out that sometimes the way you and I will link English to make sense. I will leave this thought and jump into another. It will be difficult for someone who doesn't really understand the language, particularly sentence structure. And that's what Eric Chelle is struggling with. And if you even go and watch the press conference again, he still didn't answer my question. I wanted to know why Wilfred Ndidi, the captain, wasn't here for the Unity Cup, because that was really important. We're talking leadership here. I asked him, he mentioned only Akin Somiro. Even at the AFCON, I said a lot of times that I asked a lot of questions, and he just says it the way he can. Now the English be the wahala, and that be the problem. But when I saw what people were saying about the media bleed that a proportion, it's very easy for them to jump and just attack the media all the time. Attack the media. Sharing talk am, abi no talk am. It's thing is there now. The press conference is online, it's on my channel, it's everywhere, it's on Elegbete TV. Those of us that were there, it's there. Go and watch it now. You're going to hear that the coach said what he said. And I'm saying I do not blame him. Now, English. Did we lose AyoT, Smith Layi?
Yeah. I think he's struggling with maybe probably.
Okay. Yeah, so something about. So yeah, I don't understand what people are saying about the whole thing. If it is that he threw his player under the bus, revealed his transfer, this blah blah blah. Yes, Osimhen. This is the silly season. Before the league ends, people know that players will start moving from clubs to clubs. And we know that clubs have been talking to Osimhen since last year. So what's wrong with the coach saying that, oh, we might not have this player in Poland because he has to be where it will be easy for him to sign contracts when the opportunity comes? Similarly, is there any problem with that?
So I don't think there's any problem in that. I think anything that has to do with Victor Osimhen, people normally dance around it. People normally look for a way to protect him. See, Victor Osimhen is I said it earlier. I see that is very popular. A lot of people are very close to him in the media, and people have to do what they like. So I don't think people talk about language. I don't think I agree with the language part. In my own opinion, I think that everything that he said was clear, loud and clear. If you except you want to interpret it in a different language. So AyoT said that he can't speak English. Maybe he should be speaking Pidgin for us so that that we understand what he's talking about. But in my own opinion, I think you see, AyoT, there's no way you want to paraphrase that. Transfer is transfer. The key word is there. If you even say transfer, I won't say it's moving. At least that transfer is a trigger word. So I don't know why people are upset about people talking about it. Victor Osimhen we have to talk about it. Because when the issue came up about the issue of not during the World Cup qualifier, don't talk about it now. We have to talk about it because it's a star man, of the national team. So if you are that big, you must be aware of public scrutiny. People will talk about you. That's it. So we love Victor Osimhen. There's nothing to think about that. But Eric said what he said.
Let me just bring people on quickly. My equipment is unfortunately starting to fail me, so I don't know how long I'm going to have before it eventually shuts me down. Bear with me, guys. I'm not in my usual space, so I'm having to do some shabby connections that might fail me along the line. So I want to just get other people on board real quick so that everybody can share their thoughts. Austin, please stay with us. I'll bring Shion on first, and then after Shion, Olayinka, and then I see that Osimhen's chief defender is in our lobby waiting to speak. Everybody already knows who I'm talking about, so I'll not mention names. But yes, let's hear what Sheon has to say first. Welcome, Sheon.
Welcome, AyoT. What's happening today?
Now you welcome.
Good morning,
Now really welcome you.
Good
Welcome.
morning, Gary.
Yes, go on. Your thoughts, please.
First of all, about the Osimhen issue, I think the man don't know what he's saying. But I'm angry with Bushi. When I start all this argument on Twitter. But I was listening to the interview. I thought we should respond before Osimhen talk later the day. So Osimhen want to move. That's why it's obvious because playing in Turkey doesn't fit him status. That's one. And secondly, Nigerian about the Osimhen issue, I think Osimhen is leaving Nigeria. Yeah, we should be the NFF. Is that we should that was sure. So as I was talking about Instagram this morning, I saw it this evening. Osimhen is leaving Spigo. That was is leaving whether like not. So let's clear our mind for that. And about the Falcons. What if Sebastian playing for? What about Sebastian? What about ONH Esther? All those girls that might go to Kobe and Odega Francisca. For what? At what age? At what time? Over 20 years ago, they are starting playing for Nigeria. Odega played for Nigeria 2011, under 17, 2017. That's about 30, 25, 18 years ago. Why invite Kobe now? Why invite Odega now? So for me, the manager does not know what he's doing. The Falcon manager knows what they joke. And for NFF issue and the MPFL league, I think I think to just youth league like they're doing Senegal. Youth league that they develop their alternative. That's the best thing. But our league, they are too old. 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 They are too old in the league. They are too old in the league. No young player there. So that's my thought on everything today. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you. I think our commentator is now actually what here. Let me see.
Okay. Apologies,
Yeah.
guys.
So
My
yeah,
my,
you just
my, my camera is overheating for some
yeah,
reason.
it's over.
This conversation is taking a toll of my equipment.
Let me just
Um,
say this thing.
so
I'll come back quickly.
thank you, Sean, for that. All right,
Yeah,
okay. So
yeah,
Smilai, let me know when you're back so that we can bring
yeah,
you
yeah.
back on. Let's not hold things up. I still have some people waiting to speak. Thank you, Sean, for your thoughts. I see Charles has also joined the chat. Okay, so Charles, just be patient with us. Let me bring on Mr. Olayinka. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, AyoT. It's nice to be on your show.
Yes, thank you. We've discussed a lot today, so you can take it from whichever points you want to join the conversation.
Well, I think let me first of all start from the Victor issue. I think what Osimhen did was just a damage control. Uh, so that not sure that the coach will just come out say anything that not has not been discussed, because I don't know at that level that you just come out and just speak on behalf of your player without any consultation, without speaking to him first. Is it that through his representative or directly with the player? He must have spoken to him, must have gotten some update as to why it will not be available for that particular event. So the coach probably do not understand the fact that he shouldn't have come out to say that. uh, uh, but from my own view as a journalist, uh, somebody who will look at the issue and analyze what's happening, I think what did was just, damage control. Talking about the Unity Cup and the home based player, I think for many years now, I've spoken loudly about education as far as when I
You
say
are breaking up a little bit. I don't know if it's your AirPods, but you seem to be cutting out
yeah,
a little. Well, go on.
so I've spoken many times about education as far as our football is concerned. And when I say education, I'm not about going to secondary school or university, but message do we pass to our players? What kind of things do we do to our players in terms of knowing the right thing to do? And you like Austin said, we lack organization. There's still a lot of problem with our. There's still a lot of problem with our coordination. Sometimes it's always hard to have anything in place. When it's, some of us, when we were young, we went to nursery school with slates. I'm sure many people do not know anything that is called. But when you are, most of our children today that are learning, their learning is accelerated by the modern things that are available for learning. Now, in our sports, we should be doing better than the way that we're doing today. You still have unbelievable match venues where Apex League, the MPFL, is taking place. And at the same time, you have to check the education of our coaches. When you look at our coaches, how many of them are for this person up to date as and some of these things are what I mean by education, because the players, they are like trumpets. It is what you blow inside them that will come out on the other end. So if they don't have these and right environment to move to the next level, it is what we are having today that we'll have. And somebody also spoke about uh player breadwinner. I think it's one of our major problems. And that comes because I know of a bit of what happened before was this guy, Benjamin Frederick, moved abroad. There been a deal from South Africa, there been a deal from Egypt that were turned down. One of it even at $1 million that were turned down for him to, to move to a better place where get where he get to right education. And that was down to the fact that the person that is, mentoring him has gone through a system for so many years that properly nurture him to where he is today. So it is very easy for him to also nurture whoever that is coming through the rank through his system. I think that was why uh, you know more like really benefited from that and moved in. So some of these things we need them, and again, our players moving abroad, it becomes a huge because when you look at it, how many top agents do we have as Nigerians? How comfortable are our agents? Those who are not even top, those who are even in the business. How many of them are happy to do business with Nigerian? Because this is where it comes. The question to ask yourself is, do they have the right education? Because some people have standard. They have standard that, if I don't want to work with such a player. But at the end of the day, sure those who are abroad do in the business of agency and co do when they look at it, you think they have the rights that they want. So we need to do that whole process from education. We have to make sure that coaches have the right education to coach in our league, especially at the APS level. And again, we cannot let at the stages the NNL the most important league. But for me, if you ask me, level, is the worst league. Don't I've seen
It's your thing keeps breaking up. You're cutting out. It's hard.
Yeah, we're not putting together your sentences.
Yeah. I don't know if it's your AirPods or the connection, but it's cutting out.
Same, it's still same.
It's pretty much the same, yeah. Yeah. Maybe take out the AirPods, let's see, or otherwise.
It's not the AirPods. I think you have to either
how is it now?
Okay, go on, speak.
It's better.
Okay, yeah, it seems to be.
Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, education is very important to put things together in our, in our league. The coaches don't have the right education to pass on to the players. The players does not even know the right thing to do. And I don't know how much of what I've said that you guys had. Some of our players, what it is important to them is just to move abroad. Where they are moving to is not really important. They just want to leave Nigeria. They just want to get a place where they can pay, they can receive better pay than the 300,000 naira, the 250,000 naira, the 400,000 naira that they currently receive. So, sometimes it's important for you to get the right education, be ready to survive anywhere that you are going. But many of them are not ready. They are not ready to just move abroad. So when they get abroad, the way they do things is quite different. And because it's not easy for you. And at some level, those who are in abroad that you are going, they want to see in a player certain things. If they don't see it in you, they'll have problem with you and they will not be ready to work with you, especially when you are not a minor. If you're an adult, you're an adult. And if you don't behave like an adult, Oyibo man not ready to work with you. So that's why some of our players, they come back home very, very easily whenever they move abroad.
So I think Smith Layi's connection has gone off again.
Smith Layi or AyoT? Okay, AyoT is back.
All right. Thank you, Orenka. Sorry, I'm in the background trying to figure out my whole.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
My camera setup. My camera keeps overheating, but But yeah, thank you, Olewa, for everything that you said. We have a lot that we need to work on as far as our home setup, but hopefully we can start to get one or two things right as time goes on, and we're not stuck in this cycle that just never ends. Of a few players get seen, people talk about them, they move somewhere else, but the league continues to stay at the level that it is. But yes, thank you very much, Olewa.
Yeah, somebody said moving out of the country is killing our league. Too much dubious agents. Nigerian government needs to regulate the activities of those agents in our country. Well, moving out is not killing our football. The best nations in the world today, half of their players, when they are going to the World Cup now, many of their players might come from abroad. A country like the Netherlands now, many of their players are playing abroad, and a lot of them will make the cuts. Today now, if Brazil is putting out a first 11 out, the Gabriel Magalhaes also will be in that particular starting lineup. It's not in Brazil. How many players from Brazil that are playing their trade in Brazil will make the cuts in the final World Cup list? So moving abroad is not killing the league at all. What we should be thinking about is those who are moving abroad. We should have a system in place to replace them, right? The likes of some of the best players in the world, they played abroad. Romario played abroad, played in Barcelona. Ronaldo played in Barcelona, played in Real Madrid. So a lot of players will move abroad. What we need to do is to make sure that we have a system in place to replace those that are playing abroad. Every time you can't compare our football in Nigeria with that of England, Spain, Netherlands, or Italy. So if you have a player that has done well in the league and wants to move to Spain or England to play in the English Premier League or Serie A or the Spanish La Liga, I think there's nothing bad there. There's nothing bad there.
No, I agree. There's nothing. It's not just about leaving the country. It's about where you're living to and how we are breeding and continue to grow talent in Europe.
Yes.
But yeah. All right. Thank you, Olewa. I have to let you go so that I can bring other people on. But I really appreciate your contribution today. Thank you very much.
Baba.
Proudly Austin.
Okay. Thank you very much. Guys, we're going to have to be quick from now because my thing keeps failing me, and sooner or later I'm going to have to call this. And we're already even over our regularly allotted slots. Austin, Smith Layi and I always make this joke that I don't know if I can ever be on TV because if they tell me that my show is 1 hour on TV,
you pay for the airtime. When the director will be telling your ear, say marketing is bringing bill. Nobody will tell you.
I don't know if I'm able to stick to them.
Let me tell you, when I want trade secret, I had this director when I just started off back then at NN24, and he would say, Austin, I have wife and children. Don't let me lose salary. Start to wrap up now.
Wait, so how does it work? You are the one who pays if you go over your allotted time?
Company will surcharge you. Didn't you know you were supposed to end your show? It's not just you, it's the entire production team, the director, your producer, everybody involved in it. Let's say, okay, take my show. Right after my show on Channels TV is the news at 10. And commercials might start running 10 minutes before the news at 10. And director is telling you to wrap up at 45. You now carry your coconut and stretch it to 50. That 5-minute slot that organizations have put ads, you will tell company when it did not play. You tell company. It's crazy,
All right. Let me bring on our next guest. It's going to be interesting to hear what he has to say. But I brace myself for this one. Welcome, Humble Larry. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, I greet everybody. Also, I greet you. Anyway, good job. And let me start from before CMS. Let's leave that one aside. Let me start from the Super Falcons. I know that Smith is smiling. Let me start for Super Falcons. Super Falcons is like Nigerian politics. where the politicians would go and they invite Good Luck and Bella Jonathan to come and contest.
No, very.
Invite Obasanjo to come and contest.
They did not invite Obasanjo. They did not invite Obasanjo.
Even if we give them allow now, we will ask them to come and they contest. Even self. Don't be surprised. Assuming that the kid did not come, they would have been finding a way to say, unless a place to come and they help us from this field. That is what is happening in Super Falcons. Because the people who are in charge, they are not creative thinkers. Why are you bringing the people that have passed and you are bringing them back again to come and do what? And you that are very old and you are coming back, if tomorrow now Senegal trash you 4-0 and we started assaulting you now, you're becoming offended. The time you're supposed to leave, you refuse to leave. And you're coming back. Why are you coming back? If it is what Eric Chelle is doing, okay, bring Musa, bring these people. Do you think that Super Eagles would have been what they are now? Look at what Randy Wardward is building young people to come and replace. In your own turn now, you're bringing the old people to come and do what? So these are the things that if I look at it, it's nowhere. Why are you bringing them? That one set apart. Now, Austin, yeah, I love the way you love our local league. I love the way you are pushing it. But there is a problem. Even if that we have the good structure, build stadium, there is a problem. Problem of not being disciplined. Even if we build the best stadium, can we maintain it? Look at Abuja Stadium. Uyo, in the next 5 years now, Uyo Stadium, you will cry. In the next 5 years, are they maintaining it? Now, coming over to the players, nothing. They are not good enough. They are not at the place to come and replace Super Eagles. What are they doing? Everybody is talking about Benjamin Frederick. If not because of Brentford help us to train him, Benjamin Frederick would have been the same with them.
But he had the talent before Brentford spotted him now, Oga. He had the talent.
Having a talent is different thing. But building up on the talent is another thing.
And nobody
You
will
have the
remain where they are
talent.
now. Did
No.
Ronaldinho not start
All
well
of
in
them.
Brazil before he came to
No.
Europe? You have to have something that they will see in you before they will find you.
Let me say this. All of them they have talent. It's like a gold. You saw a gold. How can you make a gold to become what it is? How can you help them to become better? You see the problem. And Benjamin Frederick that played under 20 is different from Benjamin Frederick that was in Brentford that came back and played Unity Cup. There is a transition. There is learning process. That is where the problem is. Why is it the problem? How many of our coaches in the local league have a degree or qualified? The one that have degree and qualified, can they be able to have that leadership skills?
Sorry, ongoing, just to bother so I can coordinate this thing very well because this is not available. See, you mentioned Benjamin Fredericks, and I think I agree with you to some extent that Brentford helped him. But I remember Fredericks when he was playing for Nasarawa United, he wasn't even a starter in Nasarawa United. So it's smart. That Nasarawa team had two players. They had Usheshi, the boy that plays for Sprance in Tunis now. They also have Benjamin Fredericks in that team. I remember, because he's there and to go and watch Nasarawa United. They were playing at this old Just Stadium. Is in the new Just Stadium they call it. But he didn't play. When he even brought him on, he was right back. The other guy that is playing for Esperance de Tunis now was always on the bench. So sometimes too, you see his talents that they don't get given opportunity.
Yes, because
in our local league. Yeah. So
In
just
fact,
wrap it up quickly. Don't worry.
yeah, and you said it that where we can find the talent is under 17 and under
Yeah, I
20.
said it.
In
I don't
fact,
trust the
under
MPFL.
17. Look at the Obase, Mikel, Taiwo, 20, all the, you see how they transition immediately. But if we are trying our best, our local league, no, they have to be disciplined. Let them know that they have their own word.
Mm-hmm.
Now, coming over to Osimhen's
Yeah, quickly on
issue, right?
another. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the people say that I'm going to defend Osimhen. No, I'm not going to defend Osimhen, but I will say how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Kiel said something to tell you the kind of person he is. He does not hide the truth. He will tell you the
Mm-hmm.
way it is, right? That is
Yeah.
how he
Okay.
is.
Okay.
Now, Osimhen coming to say, see, what Osimhen wrote is to defend the coach,
Mm-hmm.
not to defend himself, because there will be a problem on the coach. Go and
Why?
read the whole comment is to defend the coach.
Okay.
And I love what he did. Yes, it's to defend the coach. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
need any person to come and say, no, it's a mature thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, and what I would have, for me, if you asked me to advise Osimhen, he would have remained silent, not to talk about anything. Yes.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
just silence.
When you keep silence, everything is
Mhm.
like what? Open to interpretation. People can
That yeah,
interpret it differently.
no problem. Let them interpret it. Power of silence. Let them interpret anything. It's a matter of time. It will die.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what. Yeah, that's what I believe. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
When things happen so bad,
Mm-hmm.
I do not talk. If
Mm-hmm.
something is boom, 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 I just move back
Mm-hmm.
because you don't use that opportunity. And what he said is just to protect the coach, to
Coach,
say
yes.
this, and to coach, protect the
Okay.
club. Is he
Yes.
leaving? He definitely he's going to leave. And
Yes.
everybody wants him to leave. That
Leave.
one is not a problem. And Eric Hill, for me, is not in his. He doesn't have that capacity to tell the people whether Osimhen is leaving or not.
Okay.
It's not in his power. Yes, it does
Yeah.
not have.
Yes.
It's not
Yeah.
his right. Yes.
Yeah. I agree with you, Mbori. Silence. People address issues based on what they are, but Mbori, thank you for your time because I think already signaling that time is already fast. Thank you, AyoT, thank you everybody for your time. Thank you,
You're
thank you.
welcome.
All right, Mbori. So who is next? I think. Yeah, thank you. But we have to be fast because always Bradley is already getting tired. I have to be very fast as I roll them in quickly. So this our moderator is not Zizo. Yeah, Zizo quickly because of time. Zizo.
Disobey.
Smith. Austin,
Yes.
are you sleeping?
I'm tired. I'm tired of
Yeah,
Chelle and
Zizo.
Osimhen.
Yeah, Zizo quickly so that
Is that Nigerian league, you need a surgery. Yeah. That's why our players are struggling like this. I don't know. I wanted to ask: is it not possible to limit Nigerian league, maybe to reduce the number for them to match? Is it not possible? Is it not going? Is it not
used
going to
to
help?
it used to be like that before in the early 90s. We don't have under 10 teams in the local league. But the issue is this. I can tell you that by the next 5 years, we'll have 36 teams in the MPFL because all the states we present a team in the MPFL because
It's not.
majority of the
It's not. It's not about to me, Smith. To me, it's not about having a plenty club without structure. It's not making any sense. It's better to have small and have a good. Even if they will have maybe 16 club side, maybe
okay,
all of them will have like 20 capacity stadium or 15. It's something
yeah,
that is
yeah.
very solid.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Zizo. Sorry for
let
interjecting you.
a
Maybe you're saying
private
something.
investor invest in our league. Government will
Zizo,
not help.
can I just ask you a question? Sorry, one question. Sorry for interjecting you. Which club in Nigeria is making money?
Quillox.
Eh? Which MPF? Okay, yes. Okay.
Yeah, and the only one, the only one I can say that is making money based on the achievement is Enimba.
He's not making money.
Previous achievement.
Yeah, he's not making money now.
No, but you so sorry because for me the thing here is that football is not a money
Because
making.
they have won.
No, but see,
It's not that they are making big money,
no,
just little.
the thing is that I think you treat football as business, but in general, if you are trying to build a successful like winning football club, it's not really a money making business. The biggest teams in the world, the ones that make profits, they make very minimal profits each year compared to the kind of money that they spend. They maybe Real Madrid because they're the Galacticos and they're the biggest football brand in the world, or the Barcelonas. But you look at a lot of teams, they make losses even with the new PSR rules, the new FFP rules. Many teams are still running at a loss. The teams that make money in football really are the low level average clubs, the ones that they buy a player for 5 million, they sell the player for 25, for 30, because they are selling clubs. But the successful clubs, the ones that win trophies year in, year out, they're not money making teams. Is football is buying a sports team. Me, the way I look at it in general, buying a sports team is something that when you've made some billions in your life, you have some little extra money in the bank, you're just like, you know what, the next step, I've bought my yacht, I've bought my private jets, the next step in my wealth is to buy a sports team and to run the sports team. Well, sorry,
Sorry, because you've opened one wound now slightly. You said that Real Madrid don't make money. I know that. I know what you're talking about. How did they fund their stadium?
No, I didn't say they don't make money. I said even a team like Real Madrid, their profit is not crazy. When they make profits, they don't make, like, for Real Madrid. I don't know. I've not seen their financials, but let's say Real Madrid in a year they might spend. Let me just say they spend 500, 600, 700, 800 million euros a year. Their profits in the year can maybe be 10% or less than that.
But when you are making loss of like 90%, is it not crazy?
No, it's crazy. But there are teams that Chelsea. I know how much Chelsea they lose every year.
No. For example, now Raymond said that they spent 300 and something million to 400 million, and when they won the league, they gave them 200 million. So imagine a team that did not win the league.
No,
but
fair.
Layi, you can't jump on money that they are giving you from winning the league. The clubs need to be creative. The clubs need to be productive. That's what I was saying. They must treat it as business, and government on its part must create that enabling environment that will make them work as business. But because we know that state governments in Nigeria don't use football for its actual purpose, that's a big problem. Do you know how much money the state government move around on one match day? Just because they want to put it somewhere else. And if they want to balance that shit, where should we put it? Put Nasarawa United, play that Aqua United now. We carried a lot of people to go here, to go there. They're not treating it as business. So they'll continue to run at losses. But Remo Stars, we can understand their own because they are still building. And you'd be so shocked in 10 years' time. But they will never come out to let you know how much they are making from selling academy players. Oh. I hope you know that.
That's a separate business.
That's a separate business.
That's a separate business.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Austin is very right, because if we're talking about prize money, 200 million, or I spent 300 million, the reality of it is that if you go to, even let's look like at an English Premier League, the prize money for winning the English Premier League does not cover up for all your expenses throughout the season. It gives you maybe, I don't know, I have to double check how much the Premier League prize money is, but it's a percentage of your expenses. You make your other money through all your sponsorships, every player sales, and every other thing that happens during
It's like 4 hours. 4 hours. Arsenal sold out close to whether the guy told me 30,000 celebration jerseys. after Bournemouth and Man City played 2-2. The next day, that day, I was at Emirates to hear the stats. See the way they jumped on it. AyoT, did you see their social media drive from that time till
They
CAF
were
Champions
they
League,
were, they were
to
ready to the
UEFA
Champions
Champions League
League.
final? They thought of ways that they can milk it to make money that's beyond one prize money. Those are
I
the things
saw
we are not
even
doing in Nigeria.
I saw even when Rangers won the MPFL, I saw how long it took them before they even posted the champions graphic on their page. And this is not as if it's another game that helped them to win the league. They played their own match, they won their match. So it's something that ideally their graphic designer should have done and have ready the day before, knowing that
Thank you.
once we win this game, in 1 minute after the match, we post this thing on. In fact, you've written the drafts. It's just for you to press publish. And I still saw it took them a while before they finally posted their own champions graphic. Since they won the league, how have they kept the momentum on social media? How have they kept marketing the fact that they won the league? It's quiet. So a lot of the things we need to also do right on our own end. But like Austin said, government is in charge of a lot of these things, and the government will not
Enugu
be.
government is in charge of Rangers, Smith Layi. 2 seasons ago, they won the league. And I challenged the state governor on TV. I said, Your Excellency, your stadium will not be ready, sir. You will not play CAF Champions League there, sir. You will not. Stop this. The English people are speaking. They did not play CAF Champions League there. They played in Uyo. They have won the league again. They will still not play CAF Champions League there. We are talking basics as home
They
ground.
promise now that they will play it there. Let's go and see.
Let's see.
I said 2 years ago, Percy promised it didn't happen.
Let me bring out the next person because we're over time.
That
Mr. Adedotin is up next, and then Charles, if you do turn your camera on, because right now I see pitch black, then I'll bring you on after Mr. Adedotin. We're wrapping up, guys. We're wrapping up. We've not even gotten to Nigeria, Poland again, but we're wrapping up, sure. Mr. Adedotin, welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me. Austin, it's been a while.
I know, my brothers.
You ran away from
Alpha,
us. Yeah, see,
I greet you.
because of time, I think we like if we can do a show one day, let us dissect this Nigerian League. To those of us watch Nigerian League, and like I said, for 3 years, I did not miss any stars home matches at Onicon. Even the ones at Sibadan and against Concord, I didn't miss any. Now, what happened to our football? What happened to our league? Austin, our players will continue to go to obscure league because
Yeah,
football
absolutely.
is poverty alleviation. I never imagined my life the Nigerian player Pomudo will be playing in Bangladesh. Every day I say, like I always say it to you. I have app where I watch even Kenyan League. If you see the way Azam TV is packaging Kenyan League, Gormaya, their last match, even though they lost to Nairobi United, come and see the stadium, fit to the brim, well organized. These are countries that don't have talent as us, that don't have what it takes, what it takes to run football. Don't even talk about Tanzania League. Tanzania League is one of the best when it comes to sub-Saharan African countries. Now, we are talking about club size. I don't see anything wrong in government running football if they can run it well. In the 80s, shooting stars was being run by the government of Oyo State. We had clubs that were being run by the government and private clubs, but they were all meeting up. I think the corruption, and because nobody's asking questions, I mean the club chairman, when the governor gives them money, the governor nobody asks them. They'll just balance their book in one way. That's all. See, if you ask the club chairman at every season to give you breakdown of how they spend the fund, and there's any loophole, only the person, I think they will get it right. Because the way it is, how many clubs can be self-sufficient? We're
Nah,
talking one
they
day,
can't be.
like you said something like, will Ikorodu City be able to prosecute um their continental? That means they have to
They,
look for
they, they
funds.
didn't they didn't qualify.
No, we're just talking. Will they be able to
Yeah, well, mm,
will they be able to prosecute
But
continental?
sorry, let me just say something. I know maybe it's a news from coming from CAF. Is that the top 12 teams in Africa will probably be having 3 or 4 Champions League teams. So Ikorodu and Shooting Stars, we don't know
they're
yet, but
good.
it's coming from this thing. I just read it from like um CAF. This thing that they are considering that maybe it's going to be next year, but I don't know. But we'll see. Just saying that when you're talking about Ikorodu. So continue. I
Okay,
just
Mm.
sorry.
thank you. When can we going to be having that? Eh? Austin, Osimhen just said it like 20 years ago. Remember, they were saying that back every year in, year out, a Nigerian club will play the final of the CAF Champions League. When Shooting won a Confederation Cup, the following year, Rangers won. You see Nigerian clubs competing.
Sorry,
You see
Ayotu.
my daddy team, stationary stores
Ayotu.
winning.
Sorry,
Eh?
Ayotu. Sorry, in 2009, 2 Nigerian clubs play in the semi-final of the CAF Champions League. Kano Pillars and Atlas.
Then where did we get it wrong? Now, Austin,
Smith Layi and
it is
Adedotun, wait.
Austin.
When we talk about our league in the 80s and the early 90s, it's because then we were still using the community ownership model. Football was for the people. Wait now. But when Premier League, Bundesliga, Serie A came into the picture, we did not evolve. We did not follow. That was the transition I was saying. So a lot of people lost interest and followed European football. And that's why you don't have the crowds at the stadium anymore.
Austin, let me counter you there. I have a friend who's from Tanzania. Anytime Yanga or Simba is playing, let Man U be playing. Because now Yanga and Simba is like a religion to them. Just like Rangers is a religion to people from the southeast. They don't care about Real Madrid or anything. When it comes to Yanga or Simba or Tanzania and Simba, those two clubs. See, now Baba, somebody said, oh, Shebi, Rangers, they're still also full fee to the brim. Shooting stars. Austin, how many of them pay? Do they pay? The person that is selling tickets, is, is he collecting money from his own friends and girlfriends? Is it emitting the money to the right channel? These are things you need to put into consideration. The guy was saying that is younger. They say their tickets before the start of the season. They they are following what is happening in Europe. They say their tickets for the beginning of the season. So you have bought your ticket before the league starts. Also, this is not rocket science. It is something that we can achieve. But you said something. You said something at the beginning. You said because our football is now in the hands of wicked people, and they are not ready to make accountable. And this way, I've been saying it. I want government to intervene, and they should go to contemporary that in some South African countries, government funds football. So the football administrators are holding the government at jugular. See, Austin, I play similar in 1992, and I never loved leave my love. I never left my love for shooting stars for stationery stores. I was for stationery stores. I watched Milan. I watched stores. You can follow two things. Let's see. You can walk about over Aqua United, about over us, and see what this thing. Where did we get it wrong? I think that's where we need to go to. Do not use football to now. If Austin, if you become the governor now, you say, oh, because AyoT campaign for you, you now put AyoT. Where AyoT campaign for us, or guy, we have AyoT. AyoT is not one manager of football, and AyoT does not have interest in football. You now be the chairman of Aqua United. He doesn't care
Well,
because he doesn't love the
that's
game.
party politics.
It's just a
It's not going to
compensation.
end. It's party politics.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying that is what is now, what that part of the things that's killing our football, that the things that are killing our football. Why not put AyoT in charge of entertainment? Because he knows Davido, he knows all these people. Let him be there. Why not put Smilai that loves football to handle the football? Because Smilai did not give you 200 votes. AyoT gets you 500 votes. You now use football to compensate. Austin, you are talking now. When was the last time you qualified for the group stage of any continental competition? It will get to a stage that we will be competing with South Sudan. We'll be competing with South Sudan and Eritrea if you don't do the needful. Hence, I say maybe one day, let's do a show that we talk about Nigerian League. See, I said it. These guys, these are all the open players. If they catch them, they'll be able to, because these guys are old. A lot is happening to them. Oh, my connection. Oh. Because these guys are old, a
Your
lot is
connection is
happening to
breaking.
them. Now,
Please round
they,
up.
okay, let me clear it up. Because these guys are old, that's why they will go to Qatar. That's why they go to Iran. They don't care. And the
They
one
go
of
to
the best vendors
Baghdad.
in the league then, Bolagade, the guy is shooting. At age 19, he went to Iraq. Around his back, his shooting
I
stars.
think 90
What? For what? For what? See,
to go
let's
to
try and do a
academy
show.
in Iraq.
Let's try and do it and show that we can dissect this thing. Let us break it down. Maybe one day some of these people we know. I pray that God will help us in Jesus' name because I am a product of the local
you
league.
know.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I know you chip something.
Okay, go on,
I like
like,
to me. Just quickly. You mentioned something about people trying to control to follow the league. In the UK here, you cannot watch a 3 o'clock kickoff in the UK. You have to wait till 5. So but in Nigeria, even when we didn't have DSTV, ITV, some people go and use what do you call it? This big satellite to go and be getting Premier League. So or Al Jazeera, call Al Jazeera there. I think if the government can also control it too, try and take it to the stadium. But what we have to know now is this: our generation is not a football watching generation. With due respect,
Absolutely. Now you are
if you
talking.
cannot bring if you cannot bring somebody that will come and be shaking something in the stadium that people will see you shout, you cannot get their attention. We a nation have see if you just preach, just talk to them for like 30 minutes, they'll be yanning.
No,
But you have to
you're right.
yes,
You're right.
yes,
I
yes.
would say Nigerians, we talk about everybody, not even just us. Everybody talk about how Nigeria is a football mad nation. That's how they describe us. Oh, football is a religion. I tell people, but when you actually come down to the root of things, you realize that we don't actually like football as much as we claim to like
It's
it.
all fast. So dead.
No,
I can see we're already well over time. So let's just take final. Austin, before I let you go, let me just get your thoughts. Nigeria versus Poland. What if you're in Europe is already tomorrow for you guys. Nigeria versus Poland, friendly match. We're playing against Poland at 36th in the world ranking, I believe. We are 26. So on paper, according to FIFA, we're the better side than Poland. What are you expecting? How do you think the team would fare?
Definitely progression. I want to see more coordination. I want to see how he's going to, mash out that midfield. Let's see a bit of, understanding. Let's see a bit of cohesion. Because we have said it, time and time again that we want to see a Super Eagles team that will have a style of play. And Coach Erisha has always been talking about his game project. I feel so bad that Alassane Yusuf will not be part of that team. I'm so gutted because this is the sort of game that you used to know if he can sustain the momentum, and if the coaches can believe in him. I don't know if you follow me on Facebook because I don't have my Instagram anymore, but I have a new one now, proudly Austin Extra. The pre-match, I said it. I said it there that with everything I've seen of Alassane Yusuf in training, that is the new Super Eagles to watch. Go and watch it. I said it like everybody was there, and I posted it. It's there that this is the guy. So I wasn't shocked that he did what he did because the guy came in and we liked him, and then it started looking like he was losing his place. So I'm so gutted that he's not going to play that game against Poland. So definitely, generally, I just want to see good team play. That's why I'm also pissed that Osimhen isn't coming. If we're not going to the World Cup, we should be able to assess team building now. AyoT, Smith Layi, we should be able to say, from the Unity Cup game, the 4 matches that we saw, there's some level of progression with this team. You know, that is what I wanted to see with this Unity Cup and these two friendly matches. But it's up to Eric Chelle. He has told us at the press conference that he will make use of the available players that he's got. But no pressure. Me, I just want to see the transition from midfield to attack and how they can hold things down in that midfield. Because let's be sincere. Alex Iwobi is 30. Alex Iwobi is 30, guys, like yesterday. So we must start thinking about this our midfield. This is our midfield that since the days of Okocha we've been crying that we've not seen the sort of creativity that we want. Alex Iwobi is rounding up now. So what's next for the Super Eagles midfield play? That's for me is the question we need to answer.
All right. Austin, just because let me just allow Charles get this question I wanted to ask you. Do you know anything about Eric Chelle's contract?
I do. Some people in the NFL have been trying to talk about it, and I don't know if you saw the interview I did with him. It's about 10 minutes. It's on my channel, and he said he did. I doesn't know if he's going to be the coach of the Super Eagles in September. I started by thanking him that you kept faith with the NFF and staying with the Super Eagles, and all of that. Before we did the interview, we don't talk plenty things, and as I said, he's very careful because his sentence structure is not that solid because he's French, so he doesn't want to go and say something now that will make me go and think something else. But in that interview, he said, look, anything can happen, that this is football, but at the moment he's under contract. The NFF wants to keep him. There's the part of the NFF that wants to keep him. There's another part that uses coaching as rackets. It is when they go and look for coaches that they make money, particularly foreign coaches. They will lie that they spend, they scouted, they did. So that group of NFF executive board members, they don't want them sure. After all, did he win? They say Pizarro reach final now. Pizarro carry us go Abuja, they give us land, they give us this. This one no carry us go. That's angle, they are saying it. And those are the demonic forces with our football that don't like progression, that don't like continuity, because they just don't care. There are some people in that NFF that the moment you just say, okay, go and search for coach now. We see Labadia. I remember I told you guys all these things. I can't believe people don't listen. I said Labadia was a straightforward. Labadia didn't come to Nigeria, but people got rich. That they scouted the coach. So if you leave those people, we will not have a foreign coach for more than 1 year. Any opportunity to pursue that foreign coach so that they will go and search again and get another one, they will do it. So I know of 3 persons that really want Eric Chelle to stay. They like what he's doing and all of that. But there's a group also that are not happy that he was talking to Tunisia. He wanted to go to this one, he wanted to go down, and they're saying that means he's not loyal to the country. But you can tell that that's all bagdash because they just want the man to go so that they will go and spend money, steal money, and lie that they were scouting another new foreign coach.
I want to ask you a question, Austin. Those evil people, demonic people, do you think that they're using the media? Because, your people in the media, they are anti-Eric Chelle. They're putting pressure on him. They are saying different things. For example, now, I'm going to say it. Your very good friend, Toby Adekoyu, is anti-Eric Chelle. Always lambasting him using his platform. So do you think those people too, they are using the media to take out Eric Chelle the way they were trying to force out Randy?
No, but when Eric Chelle does good, he says it. Even if Toby Adekoyu, when Eric Chelle came to Shooting Stars to watch them, to see players, he was happy.
That's because he has a personal interest in the activity.
Ayobami Junior.
So that's what I'm saying, So at the end of the day, everybody, they protect their interests, and agenda must agenda. But they cannot come and tell me now that I've seen what Eric Chelle has done from the AFCON till date to now go and speak one way about Eric Chelle. It's a big
Well,
dent on my
he said it
integrity.
on the Bet Naija podcast that he's not a good coach. This is recent. He said, does it that you can say, where's a big work? He said it. It's on Bet Naija.
They who
Please,
can sabi the work for Nigeria. If you
no,
need no
no,
sabi the work, this
no,
one
no,
sabi the work.
no, they call those people because my sports betting partners are a different company. Made them no come
Okay.
calling. I can call another company for my shit. But yeah, thank you very much, Austin, man. I have to let you go now, but I appreciate
That
your
was a
contribution.
delight.
Thank
Well,
you.
guys, well done. I appreciate you guys for what you're doing for the ecosystem. Whenever I see you guys live, I get jealous because I can't even do this live thing. Sometimes it's so draining. But I know, but you guys keep it going. I'd rather just go and produce content 30 minutes, 30, 40 minutes and put it out there. But well done, Smith Layi. Well done, AyoT, and let's just hope that someday our voices will amplify that development that we're talking about and we'll see it in our days. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much. Thank you. Big proudly Austin, man, veteran in this industry. Okay, Smith Layi, very quickly, your thoughts. Nigeria versus Poland in a day or so. How are you feeling about it? What are you expecting?
It's going to be interesting game. I expect Nigeria to win. I think, I think despite the setback of not having Osimhen, Lookman there, I think we should be able to win that game. I think you forgot to talk about the new players that was being invited to Super Eagles. We didn't mention them, but I still expect the players to actually want to do well. We have enough in camp to beat Poland. Come on, it's no Poland that cannot go to World Cup.
Which new players are you referring to? Like Owen Oseni?
No. There's a player like called Abdullahi Ibrahim Bewene. He played for Banik Australia, is he? That plays for the Czech Republic. He's been invited. Even his club posted his pictures now that he's been called up to the national team. So he's in camp. And also Christian Akpan, of KRC Genk. KRC Genk in Belgium too, also been invited according to reports. So, Akpan was probably the best player in his game against Gent. In the is it the scope or
No, it was promotion, whatever matches. That's not promotion, European qualification matches.
Yeah, European qualification. Because I know he went to penalties, so he was the best player. He was clear at the right back. So I think the coach also actually invited him. So it should be a very, very good game. But I won't say our first team is playing because majority of the players that should be starting for Nigeria will not actually would be there. So let's see exactly what will happen in that game. So, but
if you want to talk about Christian Akpan and that guy very quickly, they don't deserve to be in the Super Eagles. I've said this a million times. We've watered down what it means to play for the Super Eagles. The Christian Akpan boy has played one game in the first division this season, and that's that game that you're talking about that they just lost on penalties to get. That's the only game that he played in the first division. He was playing for their under 23 team the entire season, and even for the under 23s, he only made 10 appearances. So how does that kind of player get into the national team? But let's not get into that. For me, Poland game, I'll see if I can do a detailed match preview and post on the channel by tomorrow. If I can't, I apologize. I'll do one for the Portugal match. But I'm just hoping to see some quality. I'm hoping to see the team show some continuity. Sad that our best player is not there. Our second best player as well, not there. But the players that are there, hopefully they can show themselves. I'm happy I've seen Akko Adams in camp. I've seen the likes of Bruno Yemechi in camp. Hopefully they can come together. They can continue looking good and we can do well against a team that has some quality. I believe the Poland squad has Lewandowski, has Zielinski, has I had the team list down. Some of their better players are all in that squad. So it should be an interesting one. Jakob Kiwior, the former Arsenal guy, teammate of Zaid Sanusi and Terry Murphy, the FC Porto. They have Jan Bednarek, also used to be in the Premier League. Matty Cash of Aston Villa is in their team. Christoph Piatek. So they have some quality players, in their team that will be nice to play against. So we'll see how that one goes. And I forgot to take your comments while Austin was on. I'm just seeing it. I know that this guy really wanted me to talk about this. Charles, he says Shehu Diko stopped a peaceful protest, warn him. So he wanted, if Austin is still watching, Charles really wanted me to wanted you to be aware of that if you were not aware already. But yes, guys, we have to go. We're over 3 hours into this already, man. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's been a long, but very interesting conversation.
Yeah.
We still have over 200 people strong that are still watching live with us. So I'm sure that you guys have enjoyed it, man. I appreciate it. Overall, I think it's been a good one. I think it's been a very interesting week for Nigerian football in general. And the week that is coming up should be also an interesting week with both our Super Eagles and Super Falcons in action. It's time to enjoy Nigerian international football before we all go on our well-deserved break, later in the summer because we don't have the choices. We're not going to the World Cup.
No,
Why are you laughing? What happened?
no, because people are still asking for the cars. The
Oh,
cars case up.
come on now. Let's
Let's
be
be
serious.
serious.
Let's be serious here. But yes, United Francis is a new subscriber. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, man. Any other new subscriber that we have here tonight, I appreciate you guys, man. Every subscriber goes a long way towards helping us. I'm trying to see. I've been saying it since the start of this year. My goal is to hit 100,000 subscribers before this year ends. I want YouTube to email me and ask me for my address so that they can send me that my plaque and I can display my plaque and know that when I reach 100,000, then I take myself as a real YouTuber. For now, I'm still a joking YouTuber. But when I hit 100K, to some people it's nothing. They are doing 10 million, but now step by step, everybody they reach their final destination. So when I hit 100K, I'll feel like a real YouTuber. We're still some distance away, but we've already covered a lot of ground. So if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. Please help us share the content, help us reach more people. I also want to say massive thank you to everyone that sent a super chat and supported the channel throughout this stream. Afolabi Busayo, Vira Momentum, Zizo Jide, Yare Made, Charles, of course. The United fan also supported with a super chat. We really appreciate you. And even if you do not send a super chat, if you helped us to like the video, I appreciate you as well. For those of you that have been watching for the whole 3 hours and even to like the video, they do you hard. It's God that will judge you, but I still appreciate you for giving us the views at least. But guys, like the video. It doesn't take anything away from your body if you press like on the video. Looking forward to an exciting game against Portugal. Looking forward to an exciting game against Poland. Exciting games against Senegal for the women, and of course, any other news that happens in the air. Stay tuned to our Instagram page at @EagleStrikerNG. Follow Smith Layi Organ Football, and you'll be in the know of anything that is happening in the world of Nigerian football. When the World Cup starts, I'll be trying to keep tabs on the African countries in the World Cup. Even though we're not there, we'll be hate watching Ghana and we'll be supporting the rest of them to see how everybody is faring, just so that we're still, even though we're not there, so that we're still enjoying the World Cup atmosphere a little bit. I'm hoping to be able to attend 1 or 2 matches. We'll see how that one goes. But yeah, it's been a fun one. It's been a fun one. It's been like a final word for our people.
Another wonderful Monday evening, I really enjoyed this. The conversation will be very interesting, especially the Osimhen part. So really I should enjoy it. And a good one. So maybe probably after the win on Wednesday, we'll have something to discuss again. About it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, guys, man. This has been the Naija FC podcast on Eagle Striker, the home of Nigerian football. We'll see you guys next week, man. Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you.